is swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! To left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the back for 1 out, throws to first. It is in time, a double play.
And that one is gone! Joe and Afner!
A high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a 2-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his second season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Dave Peck.
With a rain out yesterday, Newport will play its 4th straight game at home as they take on the 9-7 Ocean State Waves here at Cardines Field. Dave Peck, welcome you to the ballpark on Savings Institute Bank and Trust Night, where 250 stress pigs will be given away at the ballpark, courtesy of Savings Institute Bank and Trust. Newport 10-7, a half game back at the top spot in the Southern Division standings. They're coming off a frustrating loss on Wednesday night to the New Bedford Bay Sox, 8-6. Newport was out-hit 13-6, committed 6 errors in the field, leading to 6 unearned runs. Not what they wanted there. They look to get back on track here tonight. Stevie Mangrum did hit his 4th home run of the season, but Newport's late inning comeback fell just short. The Ocean State Waves coming into this game 9-7. They are a half game back of Newport in the Southern Division standings. They're coming off a game on Tuesday where rain has been affecting them the entire week. The Keene Swamp Bats took them down by a score of 6-2. Ocean State brings in the second-ranked offense led by the Kennesaw State junior Garrett Hodges, who holds on to a .351 batting average. It's the Gulls and the Waves, Game 3 of the Pebble Bridge Series right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show starts right now. Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Dave Peck alongside Newport Gulls field reporter Arm Layton and the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp. Arm, we'll start with you. 6 errors in Wednesday's game, 8-6 loss to the Bay Sox. Is that just a blip, or is it something that could continue to be a problem for the Newport Gulls?
Well, the Gulls haven't struggled too much defensively, but we're still trying to figure out that middle infield. We've seen a few different guys shuffle around. We've seen Cole Austin play shortstop. Now Jason Gonzalez played shortstop last game. I think they're still trying to figure out the right recipe with that infield, and until they figure that out, it might be a little more than a blip.
It was very frustrating, not only defensively, but just calls not going Newport's way. Mike Coombs was tossed. He will not be in attendance at the ballpark this evening. But how do you move on from that? Do you use it to fuel you going forward, or can it become a distraction?
Well, it is really frustrating. There was a lot of calls that the team struggled with, and it compromised a lot of at-bats, but you kind of got to put it behind you. That game as a whole, it was sloppy with the umpires and their play on the field. I think it's one of those things that you just got to put behind you and move on to the next day, and it's a new ball game today.
All right, Jonah, we'll toss it over to you. 2 times that the Waves and the Gulls have played, and runners left on base has been the story. When Newport won, it was 17 left on base for the Waves, and when the Waves won, it was 15 left on base for the Gulls. The Ocean State Waves left 11 on in their game against the Keene Swamp Bats on Tuesday. Is that a problem that is continuing to occur for them?
Well, certainly when they leave runners on base, they can't score runs. That's been a pattern. They only scored 2 against Keene, and that was a Keene team that was pitching an ERA about 6. So they can't leave runners on base. I know you love the stat, runners in scoring position with 2 outs. The Waves this season batting just .210 on the season, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. That's obviously a problem that needs to change.
That is a stat I definitely like to keep track of. But another stat, don't see it very often, Ocean State not playing in a game since Tuesday. A lot of rain in New England. Rust there. How do the starting pitchers deal with that? Is it something that they pay attention to, or is it just on to the next day?
That's right. The Waves have had a lot of rest over the last 6 days. They've had 4 off days, which is almost unheard of. Vito Morgessi was supposed to start yesterday, Ryan Stark the day before. Both of them had to miss their starts. I'm actually not sure who's starting today for the Waves, but it certainly puts a dent in the rotation and certainly the rhythm of the pitchers.
Ocean State just a half game back of the Gulls for the second spot, 1 game back from the top spot in the South. For the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp, and Newport Gulls field reporter Arm Lane, I'm Dave Peck. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the NECBL pregame show. I'm Dan Byford here alongside Newport Gulls sound director Steve Salisbury. Steve, you get to be the guy that sets the tone of a ball game, and you choose the music that's played between innings. And what's that like? What are the difficulties with that, and what do you like about that?
Sometimes it can be pretty difficult with the age disparity here. So you have like the younger generation who wants to hear more poppy stuff, but for example, last game there was a scout here who really enjoyed the older classic rock stuff I played, so kind of just got to see what the crowd's being into and what they respond to and just kind of roll with that.
There's a pretty diverse set of walk-up songs here for the players on the team. How did you feel about most of those songs when you were told that that's what they wanted?
For the most part, I think they're pretty good. A lot of kids tend to choose rap, which is what I would go with if it was my walk-up song. Other than that, it's kind of hard rock or country. But it's really not up to me, you know. It's not my walk-up song. Whatever's going to get them in the zone for their at-bat, I just go with that.
All right, so what if someone doesn't have the time to mention a walk-up song to you? What's your instinct there?
I tend to download stuff that I would like as my walk-up song. For example, like number 12 didn't have a walk-up song for a very long time, so I was giving him stuff by Earl Sweatshirt and Mad Villain, which are two rap artists that I really like. I like the intros to those songs, and I think I would like them.
So would you say that you're an Odd Future guy then?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so there's some songs that in a family-friendly environment, maybe not everybody would all be okay with listening to. What is one song you wish you could play that you feel like you can't in your current job?
Pretty much anything explicit. I listen to pretty much a lot of rap and all stuff that swears. I've always been brought up without a shield over my eyes, and I don't feel like the kids need that shield, so I would like to play more explicit stuff, but I can't. Probably I would like to play Pre by Earl Sweatshirt in its entirety, because it's just two great verses back-to-back, some great lyricism there.
All right, so what would you say your favorite walk-up song for any player on the team is?
This recruit we just got from Stanford just chose a Vince Staples song as his walk-up, and I really like that song. One of my buddies last year had that as his walk-up song, so it's good. It's got a good beat to it.
All right, thanks a bunch, Steve. The NECBL pregame show continues next.
Welcome back to the pregame show. Dave Peck alongside Matt Shapiro, the director of game day operations here at the ballpark. Front office report. And Matt, you've been here 17 games now. How have you settled in here at Cardines?
It's been pretty simple. Everyone's friendly. They make it easy to get along with everyone, and everything flows really smoothly.
What's one of the major roles that you have on the team as part of your job as director of game day ops?
So for me, making sure the ballpark is set up, clean, making sure the coaches and the players have everything they have, from game balls to bats, all that kind of stuff. That's pretty much the outline of my general day.
And it was Christmas, or will be Christmas in July on Monday. What can fans expect at the ballpark when they come here July 2nd and find Christmas decorations and whatnot all around the ballpark?
Just a general great atmosphere, a good place to bring your family, have a good time, and watch some great baseball.
What's been your favorite part in Newport so far this summer?
Getting to watch great baseball. I mean, never really wanted to hang up the cleats after high school, and this has been my way of keeping the cleats on. So,
is this what you want to go into? Is director, baseball operations, something like that you see in your future?
Definitely. After this, I could definitely see myself doing something like that.
All right. Director of Game Day Operations, Matt Shapiro. I'm Dave Peck. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show. Aurum Layton here with pitcher Jerry Burke. Jerry, you came from Georgetown University. Now you're here in Newport. How has that adjustment been, and how is the NECBL compared to the competition you played at Georgetown?
Once we got into Big East play for Georgetown, it was pretty similar competition, but the lineups here are more tough through and through. A lot of bigger schools in there, 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters pretty much throughout the entire lineup. So it's been a bit of adjustment for sure, but it's making me better, so it's something I'm looking forward to, facing more batters.
So last game you had your best outing of the season, 3 1/3 scoreless. What did you have working for you, and was it different coming out of the pen because you've generally been a starter so far this season?
Starter, I feel like I was putting a little more pressure on myself to be perfect, and then this time I just kind of let loose and wasn't working to nibble at the strike zone, just kind of pounding away and let my slider work and stuff like that. Not really letting the hitters dictate how it was going, and it worked in my favor.
And so far, you came from Washington, D.C. Now you're in Newport. What's your favorite thing about Newport, and how is it different from Washington, D.C.?
Weather up here is much nicer. It's not as humid all the time. And, I mean, the beaches and the community around here is just way nicer than down in D.C. And we don't get too many fans. So coming here and seeing a packed crowd every night is pretty solid.
Awesome. And thank you so much. So Jerry Burke with RM Layton, and the pregame show continues on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Coach's Corner. Dave Peck alongside pitching coach, third-year coach here in Newport, Kevin Winterrode. Coach, interesting game on Wednesday, 8-6, kind of frustrating game. How do you guys put it behind you, and what do you have to do to get the win tonight?
Well, I just don't think we came out on the right side in the beginning. We were behind in the count. We didn't pitch well. We made some mistakes. So, you know, by the end of it, we did the right things. We just buried ourselves in a pretty big hole. So we just need to come out and play well early.
The last time that Newport played Ocean State, they really jumped all over the starting pitcher early on. Is there an adjustment that has to be made if they have another aggressive approach in the first couple of innings?
Well, we'll see what they do with the guy we roll out there today. Obviously, every different starter is different, so I think we've got a good one going tonight, and I'm comfortable with that. But obviously, we still have to execute, and that's the difference in the game. They did early, and we didn't from the mound.
What's been something that's impressed you so far this season? 17 games in, about halfway, for the pitching staff or even in the lineup as well?
I like some of the adjustments we made. I felt like we weren't in the zone very much early on, and I think we've gotten in there. We still got to get better at going to both sides of the plate, so it's always a process. They're young kids. They're still developing, so it's part of the process.
All right, thank you, Coach. Coach Kevin Winterrode, I'm Dave Peck. The Gulls and the Waves are up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Dave Peck and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
It's Game 3 of the Pell Bridge Series on a beautiful Friday evening here in Newport, Rhode Island. Dave Peck alongside Andre Olivier, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp, and Newport Gulls scorekeeper RM Layton, getting you set for this Southern Division matchup between the 10-7 Newport Gulls and the visiting 9-7 Ocean State Waves. It's Game 3 between the two ball clubs out of Rhode Island. Game 1 went for Newport. It was a 5-1 game at Old Mountain Field. Game 2, the Waves came back and won that one 8-1 in a game that only went 7 innings after the fog rolled into Old Mountain Field. Jonah, you remember that well, but we're back here, first time at Cardines Field, as I officially welcome you in. It's good to have you here in Newport.
Oh, it's good to be here. I've been waiting all season long to come here, and it's been well worth the wait.
Hopefully we have a good game on hand. Everyone rained out in the NECBL, but we're back in action. The last game that Newport played was on Wednesday. It was 8-6 loss against the Bay Sox here at Cardines Field. A very frustrating game. There were 6 errors, 6 unearned runs that the Gulls gave up throughout the game. They were out hit 13-6 against a Bay Sox team that has really come on strong offensively as of late. Russell Smith picked up the loss, going 1.2 innings, giving up 4 hits, 5 runs, all of which were unearned. And Jerry Burke did have a nice relief outing. He pitched in that 8-1 loss against Ocean State last week. He went 3.1 innings, 3 hits, no runs in yesterday's ball game. As I welcome RM Layton into the broadcast booth. RM, it was a weird game. Coach Coombs got tossed, a lot of errors, kind of uncharacteristic of the Newport Gulls we've seen so far this season.
Well, definitely. I mean, defense hasn't really been an issue, and offense has been one of the strengths of this team. So to have the same amount of hits as errors, being 6, that's something very uncharacteristic of the Gulls. And Coach Coombs, you mentioned, did get tossed. There were some iffy calls, and the Gulls were frustrated with the way the game was being umped. But at the end of the day, you make 6 errors in a ball game and give up 7 unearned runs, you're going to struggle to win games.
Newport did battle back late. They scored 2 runs in the 8th inning to cut it to 8-6, but they went down 1-2-3 in the 9th. Really, when at home, they've been successful late in ball games. So, Jonah, we'll toss it over to you. Last game, Tuesday, you've had a couple of rainouts now. It was a 62 loss to the Keene Swamp Bats. What was the story in that game, and how important is it to get back on the winning track in such a tight Southern Division race?
Well, Nick Mondak started for the Ocean State Waves, and he was really exceptional. Went 4 innings pitched, gave up a run, but not earned, only 3 hits, over those 4 innings pitched. The Ocean State Waves, though, couldn't get any offense going in that game, couldn't get any offense at all, any runs across the board until the 8th inning. A solo home run was the first run on the board, scratched out a run in the 9th inning, but then ultimately lost 6-2 in that loss. They managed in the end to get 9 hits on the board, but as the story's been all season long for the Ocean State Waves, you get runners on base, it's about bringing them home. And Ocean State just has not done that well all season long, especially when they're in scoring position and especially when there's 2 outs.
I was about to bring it up. You know, in that first game, 15 runners left on base for the Waves. They lost 5-1. Literally the opposite script in that 8-1 win for the Waves. 12 runners left on base for Newport. So, you know, it's been interesting. Offense has been there hit-wise, just situationally, and it's always fun when these 2 teams match up very close. They're obviously rivals. Pellbridge Series, Game 3. Ownership knows each other really well. A lot of the players from similar schools, so it should be an entertaining ball game here on Friday night on Savings Institute Bank and Trust Night, where 250 Stress Pigs, I said it, Stress Pigs, will be given away at the ballpark courtesy of Savings Institute Bank and Trust. We'll be right back with more information, news from around the league when we come back right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Just a half game separates the Newport Gulls from the Ocean State Waves in what has been an exciting and tight Southern Division race. We will take a look around the North and the South in the NECBL action last night and today. We'll send it over to Aram Lee. And Aram,
well, starting in the Southern Division, like you said, the Gulls only have a half game up on Ocean State, being the 1 win in the win column. The Gulls trail by a half game of the Plymouth Pilgrims, who are 10-6 and lead the Southern Division. In the Northern Division, the Valley Blue Sox lead 2.5 games over the Sanford Mainers. Then Upper Valley, Keene, and North Adams, as well as Vermont and Winnipesaukee all trail. Valley has the biggest lead so far and the best record in all of the NECBL at 12-4.
Thank you, Aram. And, you know, you wonder why the South is so close and the North is so spread out. And one thing I can think of is just, you know, getting hot at the right time. But a lot of the teams here, you're closer proximity-wise. And it just, maybe it's a little bit more personal. I'm not sure. What are your takes on it? Because it's very bizarre the way that the North and South have kind of divided.
You know, it is hard to say. Maybe proximity is a big reason why, but when it comes down to it, you have a lot of talented teams in the North, but then also not a lot of non-talented teams in the North. So that's why you have the big discrepancy. 8.5 games separating the basement from the ceiling. Winnipesaukee to Valley right now, and even Valley to Sanford, 1-2. Valley has a 2.5 game lead over the number 2 spot, Sanford. Plymouth, who's number 1 in the South, has a 3-game lead over the last place Danbury Westerners. It's really amazing.
It's really going to turn into, and I mean it is, but as July comes through, you know, August begins to creep around the corner, a lot of these games you're going to look back on and be, you know, a little upset or very happy that you were able to come away with a win. Last night's game against the Wednesday night's game against the Bay Sox is a great example of that. It was a game where Newport had some momentum. There was some anger brewing, some angst. They had an edge to them when Mike Coombs was tossed after a tough play at the plate, but you know, you can build off that, you can go backwards from it, and we'll see what they want to do here. It's the Gulls and the Bay Sox. We'll take a quick break and be right back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Ceremonial first pitches.
As we welcome you back to the ballpark here, little George Strait bringing us into the broadcast booth. Dave Peck alongside Newport Gulls scorekeeper Andre Olivier, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp, and Newport Gulls field reporter Aram Layton. Newport, like we mentioned, 10-7, second in the South, just a half game back of the Plymouth Pilgrims. They got rained out in that matchup that would have been at Forges Field last night. Ocean State 9-7, third in the South. They are just a half game back from Newport, and head-to-head so far this season. Overall, against Gulls pitching, Waves have the edge, a 338 average compared to Newport's head-to-head average of 290. And, you know, two teams that are 1-2 so far in the NECBL in hitting. Newport comes in with a 313 average. That is first. And for the Waves, it is a 288 average. One thing I actually look at for the Waves is that 288 average at second. And it's not too far behind Newport. But you look at the runs, 93, and that's 8th. And the answer, Jonah, is runners left on base. I mean, it has to be. Is there anything else that is going on with this team that explains that?
Not really. I mean, runners left on base is probably the biggest thing you could say.
We'll send it down to the field for the Honor Guard and the National Anthem. Honor Guard by Central Falls Police Department.
Here with us tonight to perform the national anthem is the son of Savings Institute's Newport branch, Ina Noble, Kit Noble. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you again to
Very nice national anthem sung tonight by Kit Noble, the son of Savings Institute Newport branch manager Ina Noble. And again, the honor guard from Central Falls Police Department here. It's the Gulls and the Ocean State Waves in Game 3 between the two. The last time they played 8-1 at Old Mountain Field, the Waves got the win. Picked up 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, then 3 in the fourth. Very aggressive approach against Jerry Burke in that game. Is that something that they've been doing consistently, or was based on who they were facing on the mound? Can we expect it tonight?
I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record and just repeat the same thing over and over again, but in that game, the difference between that game and a lot of other games the Waves have played, especially the losses, in that game against Newport, they got runners on base, and they drove them home. They did it in the first, they did it in the second, they did it in the fourth, and that was the big difference. Also, the pitching was exceptional in that game. Newport, coming into the game with an even higher average than they have right now, held them in check for most of it.
We'll see what happens here tonight. And for the visiting Waves lineup, we'll send it back to Jonah. You want to take us through that?
Sure thing. So leading off for the Ocean State Waves tonight, Cullen Smith, also manning the hot corner. Right behind him, in his second game in a Waves uniform, Quincy McAfee playing shortstop. Grant English manning the 3-hole, and he's over at first base. Michael Turner cleaning things up. He's behind the dish. Brian Mosky out in center field, batting 5th. Garrett Hodges batting 6th, playing right field. Ryan Ward out in left field. He's batting 7th. Dylan Rest, the designated hitter, he's batting 8th. Then rounding things out, LT Struble over at second base.
Thank you, Jonah. And they will face off against Holden Powell, rising sophomore out of UCLA. Righty, 185, 6 foot. And this is just his second appearance of the NECBL season. His first one came on June 19th. It was a loss to New Bedford, 10-8. It was a game that was picked up after the fog out earlier in the week. Powell went a total of 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, walked 3, and struck out 5. Holds on to a 9.00 earned run average. As we will take you through the home Newport lineup here for the Gulls. And Mike Coombs is not in the ballpark after being tossed on Wednesday night But Greg Gall's lineup looks like this. Tim Tawa leading things off from Stanford. He's out in center field. Zach Britton behind the plate out of Louisville. He bats second. Behind him is Cody Hosey, the third baseman from Tulane. Cleanup hitter is Stevie Mangrum, the right fielder out of Virginia Tech. Shortstop is Cole Austin. He's back in the lineup out of Arizona State. He bats fifth. Zach Hogeson, the other Sun Devil, is right behind him out in left field. Logan Harvey bats seventh, playing first base from Wake Forest. The designated hitter is Dalton Reed out of the University of Kentucky. Rounding out the lineup for the Gulls this evening is Jack Gethings. He plays second out of Fairfield University. And the Gulls will, in the bottom of the frame, face off against Vito Mergesi, a guy that they have already seen. Quickly, the umpires here at the ballpark. Tyler Bullock is behind the plate. Keith Peterson is the first base umpire, and Joe Gravina is at third. Like I mentioned, Greg Gall is the manager here this evening for Newport, assisted by Xander Jones and Kevin Winterroad, as Newport has taken the field. Go over the field dimensions real quick at Cardines. Always interesting when we go around the diamond here at historic Cardines Field. Left field is 315, left center is 365, 395 out to dead center. Then it comes back in 315 to right center. You can see those triangles on the map on your screen. And then right field, short porch 285, but it's 28 feet high around the entire outfield. And the fence is really made up by the property lines out there. Cardines opened its gate in 1908, and it has been here ever since, fielding the Gulls, local baseball teams around the area, including the historic Sunset League that has been around since 1919. The Gulls wearing their Friday night orange tops with Newport written in white across the chest, numbers in white under them, white pants with an orange piping outlined in blue down the side, and Ocean State wearing their dark blue tops with baby blue waves written across the chest, numbers in baby blue as well, with the gray pants, as Holden Powell continues to throw his warm-up pitches. And this past season at UCLA, Powell had a 2-1 record in 29 appearances, did not make a start, but he did have a 3.5 run earned run average in 33 and a third innings pitched. He also had 6 saves, that is first for the Bruins, and he's getting the start tonight. We'll see what he has against an Ocean State offense that bats 288, second in the league, 93 runs, that is 8th. They have 36 doubles, which is second. That gives them a 4.16 slugging percentage, third in the NECBL. Newport atop in many categories offensively, but pitching a 5.17 earned run average, that is 10th. 79 walks, 10th as well. They do have 160 strikeouts as a team, which is 4th in the league. We'll see what they can do here. Number 1 offense, number 2 offense, game 3 of the Pell Bridge series. And here is Cullen Smith, and last time these two teams played, he hit a home run just to start off the game. It was in the bottom of the frame, but he didn't waste any time. The first pitch from Powell is a fastball in there for strike 1.
Cullen Smith batting .313 on the season, up there with the leaders of the Ocean State Waves. But this is, as we've said over and over again, a very good Waves lineup.
Powell working from the windup. Smith out of Eastern Tennessee State University. 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball that misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
5 players of the 9 players in the lineup tonight for the Ocean State Waves batting above .300.
Newport trying to get back to its winning ways. Here's the 1-1, and that one is fouled. It looked like it caught Britton behind the plate. Defensive alignment here today for the Newport Gulls. Cody Hosey is at third. Cole Austin is the shortstop. Jack Gethings is playing second. Logan Harvey is at first, outfield left to right. Zach Hogeson, Tim Tawa, and Stevie Mangrum. Zach Britton catching for Powell. 1 ball and 1 strike. Start time here, 6:40 on the Eastern Seaboard. As the 1-1 pitch misses high for ball 2.
Well, Dave, you mentioned that Newport's trying to get back in the win column. So is Ocean State. They've lost 2 straight. They've had 5 of 7 days off this past week. The 2 games, both losses.
Here's the 2-1. That's fouled off the netting down the third base line to even things up at 2-2. The weather here in Newport, Rhode Island, not a cloud in the sky. 82 degrees, 0% chance of precipitation. Humidity 61%. Winds 10 miles per hour. Arguably the nicest day that we have had here in the city by the sea. And it couldn't come on a better night, as Cardines is becoming packed as the crowd shuffles in. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one lifted into left field, slicing away from Hogeson, giving chase towards the line. He's able to make the play, one gone. So one up, one down. It's, you know, something that's very important, especially for a Newport team and a Newport staff that is allowing a .344 average against leadoff hitters so far this season. So to get that first one out of the way, especially in the first inning, is big. We'll see what Quincy McAfee can do. Newcomer here for the Waves.
Just his second game, went 2 for 4 in the first game.
That's from the right side. First pitch from Powell is a curveball that catches the outside corner for strike one.
It was really a shining star in what was otherwise a pretty dark night for the Ocean State Waves. Went 2 for 4, had an RBI, walked, and he also struck out.
Here's the 0-1. Another breaking ball. This one misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Powell came in and started that game against New Bedford. He had a 6-5 lead, but the Bay Sox were relentless. 1-1, sharp liner, foul down the third base line. He's the only UCLA Bruin on the squad for the Newport Gulls this season. Kyle Mora was an all-star pitcher last year for Newport, back in 2017. The dugouts here at Cardines Field, right next to each other, both on the first base line. You see Ocean State's is a little bit more towards the first base bag, and then as you pan over, Newport hanging out there trying to get out of the sun. They are closer to home plate. And when the Waves were shuffling in here, a couple of players, maybe it was their first time coming, they were heading over to the third base line, kind of looking for their dugout, and they were like, oh man, this is crazy. We're going to be right next to those guys?
I did the same thing.
Definitely interesting. We'll get more into it as the game goes along. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's fouled off the end of the bat. Nice fight here from McAfee. It's Savings Institute Bank and Trust Night here at the ballpark. 250 stress pigs were given out courtesy of Savings Institute Bank and Trust. McAfee, a rising junior at Pepperdine University. Here's the 1-2, high fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
McAfee playing shortstop tonight for the Ocean State Waves. His second game at shortstop, and he took over the duties for LT Struble, who's now moved over to second base.
2-2, high fastball, easy take. And McAfee has worked a full count.
Struble was the everyday shortstop for the Ocean State Waves, really that one constant in an otherwise revolving door of Waves players in the defense.
And he has been very good doing the little things. 10 walks, 11 stolen bases, getting on base, and leads his team in both categories. 3-2 pitch, high fastball for ball 4. So McAfee rather is on with a 1-out walk. First base run of the evening for the Waves. Top of the first inning, still no score. Here in Newport, Rhode Island, Dave Peck alongside Jonah Karp. Grant English due up. He bats third.
Number 16, Grant English.
And against the Gulls, he is 4 for 8, just 2 games, but batting .500, a run, a double. Batting from the left side, trying to get something going here with McAfee on first. Foul from the stretch. First pitch fouled to the backstop, 0-1.
Grant English certainly one of the better hitters in the lineup, that's without question, and one of the better situational hitters the Waves have in the lineup. 14 RBIs on the season, which is first on the team.
Last game versus Newport, he was 3 for 4 of the run and 3 RBI. Powell gets the sign from Britton. Sets the glove at the belt. Long pause. Britton setting up outside. Here's the pitch. This one flared down the left field line. Hogeson giving chase, but it will bounce foul into that bullpen. The shared bullpen here at Cardines Field. Both teams, whenever they're warming up, they're right next to each other.
I really like the camaraderie.
Yeah.
You have 2 dugouts next to each other. You have 2 bullpens next to each other.
And you got the booth that's right with all the fans.
That's right.
Just a couple of tables here. Really nice setup. 6-camera setup here in Newport. Certainly very lucky. No balls and 2 strikes here to English. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside. In its last 5 games, Newport is 3-2. Pitching, they've given up 24 earned runs, walked 17, struck out 44. They do have 2 saves, both from Nate Ryder. and the late inning guy all year for the Gulls. 1-2, inside slider. That misses low for ball 2.
I don't think we've talked about the weather yet. I checked the weather before the game. 79 degrees. I think that's a little low.
It's 80. We briefly breezed over it. 82 degrees.
Okay.
10 miles per hour winds. Here's the 2-2. Rolled over. Ground ball towards the second baseman. Gething scoops it up, fires it to first. 2 gone. McAfee does advance to second on the play. Gething's back in the lineup after he was nursing a little illness, but feeling good enough to go here. The sun is, it's going to be beating down on these guys. And hydration is certainly key. As we're entering the dog days of summer, this is the 18th game of the season, at least for Newport. And it's crazy, but we're almost halfway through.
That's amazing. I mean, June's almost over.
Here is Michael Turner, sophomore out of Kent State, bats 4th from the left side. First pitch fastball misses low for ball 1.
Quincy McAfee, the guy off second base, a little bit of speed, was a little overzealous in his first game, was caught stealing, 0 for 1.
Just had a lot of adrenaline. He was just trying to get involved early, any way he could. Foul from the stretch, takes a look at McAfee, now goes to the plate, 1-0, popped up, left side. Hogeson giving chase as is Hosey, but that'll bounce out of play for strike 1.
What's interesting is that McAfee was not caught stealing at all this past season at Pepperdine. 9 for 9.
So getting a little welcome to the NECBL early on from the Keene Swamp Bats. Ocean State does have 24 stolen bases. That is 6th. Newport with just 4. That is last by a pretty significant margin. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled on the ground, right side, and that gets right in between the 2 dugouts, now 1 and 2. Scoreboard down the right field line, black lit up with red numbers with the clock on top. It's always nice to have a clock on a scoreboard. Don't see it too often. Here's the 1-2, fastball well inside, now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I was looking for the scoreboard, and I'm glad you pointed it out because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's a little tough to see. There's a fence there. We got our camera crew, but certainly does the job. See the 6 Fay Vincent Cup NECBL Championship banners underneath it. Newport looking for one more. Here's the 2-2, line drive into right field. That'll get in for a hit. McAfee is getting sent around third. The throw is going to be cut off by Gethings, and it's an RBI single. Ocean State takes a 1-0 lead.
Well, that was just good hitting by Michael Turner. He got a pitch up, got a pitch he liked, just pulled it into the gap in the right side of the infield. And he's been awfully productive for the Ocean State Waves this season. Just his 6th RBI, but he's a pretty good situational hitter in his own right.
Heading in the 4-hole, he's able to come through. So it's 1-0. Here's Brian Mosky. Mosky also 4 for 8 against the Gulls this season. First pitch swinging, hit on the ground. Gethings at second, scoops it up, fires it to first to retire the side. But the Waves strike first. They get 1 run off 1 hit, leave 1 runner on. It's 1-0 as we head to the home half of the first right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 1-0. Waves striking first in the top of the first inning off the RBI single from Michael Turner. It'll be Tawa, Britton, and Hosey to lead things off in the bottom of the first, and they will face off against Vito Morgesi for the 2nd time this season.
Vito Morgesi, making his 4th appearance of the season, has started his first 3 games, 13 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, and just 4 walks, and the ERA is pretty darn good. He's given up 4 earned runs this year, a 2.77 ERA, but the batting average against him is not so good, especially on the right side of the box. 310 for right-handed batters this year and 273 for left-handed batters.
Against Newport, he did 4 innings, no runs, 5 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7. And he recorded the win. It was only a 7-inning game, so it actually worked in his favor. Newport will face a lefty again. So far this season, batting .233. Or rather, they're batting .278 against left-handed pitching. They have 62 hits, 18 doubles, 7 home runs. That .278 average is compared to a .333 clip against righties. But James Sorrow, starting to see a trend. Why not throw the guy that beat you out there again here at Cardines?
Well, what's interesting is that Vito Morgessi was supposed to start yesterday in a game that got rained out. Ryan Stark was supposed to start the game before for the Ocean State Waves. He got bumped because that game also got rained out. And I'm surprised Vito Morgessi's back on the mound. I'm surprised he wasn't bumped as well.
Yeah, a lot of interesting managerial decisions that have to be made when not only one but two games are rained out. But he is on the hill. And in steps Tim Tawa. 313 hitter. First pitch from Morgessi is a fastball that just misses outside for ball one. Tawa out of Stanford. He has 5 hits, including 2 doubles and an RBI so far this year. 1-0 pitch, hit on the ground. Third baseman Smith cuts it off. Throw on the run to first is in time, 1 gone.
Well, one thing I've noticed since Quincy McAfee was moved to the left side of the infield and LT Struble to the right side of the infield, the defense has improved dramatically. Cullen Smith, a phenomenal third baseman. Quincy McAfee has shown off his range over at short. And LT Struble, the one problem he had when he was playing shortstop were a lot of high throws. His range was very, very good, but then some of the throws would be high. He hasn't had that problem over at second base, at least not yet.
Ocean State with a .955 fielding percentage, 11th in the NECBL. Britton swings at the first pitch and fouls it off the netting down the third base side, now 0-1. 26 errors, that is 8th. And for Newport, .956 fielding percentage, that is 10th. 27 errors, that is 9th. So just about the same stat line for both teams. 0-1, fouled off the netting once more. So Britton, a couple of swings, just unable to tie it up, and he's down 0-2.
The only argument I think you could draw up for a problem that the Ocean State Waves have right now in their infield is they have the luxury of having a lot of good hitting infielders. Casey Dana, an odd man out, not in the lineup tonight. Eric Hort has been injured, but he's been a very effective first baseman for them.
And Dana does lead the team in home runs. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball just a little low for ball one. A nice 0-2 spot there from Morgessi, though. Britton coming into this game, 8-game hit streak. He has been hot. 1-2 pitch, check swing on the low breaking ball. He's able to lay off now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And on the year, Britton second in the NECBL with a .413 batting average, tied for first in the league with 8 doubles. Man he's tied with, Zach Hogeson. Time is called here by Britton. Morgessi winds and deals. That one is a curveball swung on and missed for strike 3. He chased it in the dirt. Now 2 gone in the inning. First strikeout of the evening for Morgessi.
And 13th of the season for Zach Britton. But I think another comparison you could draw between the Ocean State Waves and the Newport Gulls is they've each had the luxury of having 2 very, very good hitting catchers, both who play almost every day. Sonny Uliana not in the lineup tonight for the Ocean State Waves, but he's been great. And, of course, Michael Turner, who slapped a double to right field to score the first run of the ballgame.
Here's Cody Hosey, another breaking ball. That one in there for strike 1. Hosey, a rising junior for the Tulane Green Wave, batting .322. 19 hits, 5 doubles, 4 home runs, 14 RBI. Also has 10 walks. 0-1 pitch, fastball in there for strike 2. Hosey gave a look back to Tyler Bullock behind home plate, thought it might be a little low. He's been consistent so far in the game with the lower strike zone. We saw Wednesday it was a high strike zone against the Gulls. 0-2 fastball misses off the plate, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
When Morgessi's fastball is working, he can flat out blow it by opposing hitters. He's one of the hardest throwers on this team, has touched 92 a couple of times this year. Usually sits around 88 to 90.
1-2 pitch, line drive into right field. That'll get down for a hit. Hodges is able to cut it off and get it in quickly. It's a 2-out single for Cody Hosey.
Also a big part of Morgessi's game is locating pitches. And while he can get a fastball by you, when he leaves them up, well, he often gets burned. And that's why opposing hitters on both sides of the plate have had very much success against him. But he's been very good, Morgessi has, is holding runners on base. And that's why the ERA is so low, but the batting average against is so high.
And Newport with only 4 stolen bases, not something they pay a particularly close attention to. The way they have been swinging the bat. Here's Stevie Mangrum. First pitch, breaking ball, misses low for ball one. Mangrum with the home run in Wednesday's matchup with the Bay Sox. He has 4 on the year, batting .357. That is third for the Gulls. 1-0 pitch. Nice fastball catching the low and outside corner for strike one. That's where he's got to live, more Jesse. Mangrum with a double and 11 RBI. 1-1, popped up right side. That'll get foul and out of play.
The Newport Gulls have a lot of power in their lineup. Up and down, a lot of guys with 3, 4, some even with 5 home runs.
Cole Austin with 5. Dolan Reed with 4. Stevie Mangrum with 4. Cody Hosey, he has 4 as well.
Zach Hogeson has 3.
And all 3 of those home runs came against the Bay Sox in that doubleheader matchup they had last week. Grand slam and a couple of solo shots. 1-2 pitch, hit on the ground right side. That'll get through and into right field for a single. So back-to-back base hits for the Gulls, still 2 down. 1-0, Waves on top in the bottom of the first inning. Newport trying to manufacture something. And here comes Cole Austin. Leads the NECBL, tied for first with 5 home runs. Had the off day on Wednesday, but he did come in for a pinch hit single in the 8th inning. He ended up being stranded there after Tawa struck out to end the ball game. First pitch from Morgessi, lined into right center field. That'll get all the way to the fence into the corner. Hosey's being sent home. He will score. Mangrum will stop at third. It's an RBI double, and this one is knotted up at 1. Nice shot there from Cole Austin.
Vito Morgessi not fooling any batters right now, leaving a couple pitches up. Got burned on the first 2 with a couple slapped the opposite way into right field. And Cole Austin showing off his power and pulling one into the right field gap.
And with that, he is now tied for the most RBI in the NECBL with 18. All this coming with 2 outs in the inning. Zach Hogeson digs into the left-handed batter's box. Austin on second, Mangrum on third. First pitch breaking ball taken for strike one. Oh, 1 pitch, high fastball, fouled into the glove. Now, no balls and 2 strikes. And Jonah, we mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast, my favorite statistic here for Newport. And it's gone down a little bit since the beginning of the season, obviously, but at 259 runners in scoring position with 2 outs average. 3 home runs, 33 RBI as the 0-2 curveball's in the dirt and swung on and missed for strike 3. The ball got away from Turner, but is able to fire it down to first to retire the side. But Newport is able to answer back. They get 1 run off 2 hits. They leave 2 runners on. 1-1 as we head to the second right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 1-1 here at the ballpark in Newport, Rhode Island. Gulls able to get 1 back off the RBI double from Cole Austin, his 18th of the season. Foul back out on the hill. He will face Hodges, Ward, and Resk here in the top of the second inning. Hodges from the left side. First pitch, changeup, misses low for ball 1.
Garrett Hodges, I think you could say, is the best hitter in the lineup for the Ocean State Waves right now, at least the hottest hitter.
1-0 pitch, fastball, misses high and outside.
Batting .351 on the year, which is up there with the team leaders. 20 hits, which is leading the team. 7 doubles, which is leading the team.
Powell winds and deals the 2-0. Popped up in the infield, right side. First baseman Harvey coming in, and he will make the play for out number 1. So some communication needing to happen between Gethings and Harvey, but it was the Wake Forest Demon Deacon who was able to glove it. Another quick out here for Holden Powell, but a walk last inning came back to bite him on the RBI single from Michael Turner. So 1 down, here's Ryan Ward. That's from the left side. First pitch, breaking ball, misses just low.
Ward, the co-freshman player of the year at Bryant this past season, led all D1 players in hits, all freshmen in doubles.
1-0 pitch. Fastball just a little low, now 2-0.
But completely ice cold as of late. Over the last 5 games, Ryan Ward just 1 for 16. And over the last 10 games, batting just a .171.
We're going to get things going here for Ocean State. Powell working from the windup. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball does catch the outside corner for strike 1.
He's played in every game, though, thus far, and has the most at-bats of any Waves player, 58 on the season.
Here's the 2-1. Line drive into left field. That will get down for a hit. Hogeson fields it on 1 hop, but it's a 1-out single here for Ryan Ward.
Well, if that's not a confidence boost, I don't know what is. His average down to 259 on the year after batting above 400 in week 2.
That's exactly what you want. No, line drive, barreled it up, hit it the other way. Certainly earned it. Here's Dylan Resk, bats from the right side. Powell now from the stretch, sets the glove at the belt. Britton setting up outside. And it's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1.
Now the next obstacle for Ryan Ward is getting his first stolen base of the season. 0 for 2 thus far. He does have speed, though. Showed it off at Bryant this past season.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. Elevated fastball, but just couldn't quite catch up to it.
Dylan Resk is an interesting case for the Ocean State Waves. He has a lot of power. He has 2 home runs, and that's in a relatively small sample size, just 33 at-bats on the year.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and Ward is off. That ball gets away from Britton. It was a curveball in the dirt, so it'll be ruled a pass. Okay, so it's a stolen base here for Ryan Ward. But the ball was low, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike here to Resk.
And there's the first stolen base of the season for Mr. Ward.
So just as you said it. Now he stands on second with 1 down. Here's the 2-1. That's fouled off the end of the bat and possibly off Britton's glove. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Or his mask even.
We've had a couple hard-hit foul balls right to the backstop, right to the wooden fencing beneath us, and I'm sure you're numb to it by now. It's awfully terrifying.
Very close. You're not separated from the action at all here at Cardines, at least from a broadcaster's standpoint. 1-1 your score, top of the 2nd inning. 1 down, Ryan Ward on second. Powell gets the sign from Britton. Here's the break-even offering. Breaking ball misses low and outside. Now a full count. $19 strikes, 16 balls here for Powell. Takes a look at Ward, now goes to the plate. And it's a line drive into center field. Tawa can't get to it as it bounces in for a single. Ward will stop at third as the throw comes in to Harvey. And now runners on the corners here for the Waves with still 1 out. Another line drive. That's kind of what they did the last time these 2 teams played, just barreling it up, being aggressive. That time he was able to get a 3-2 pitch that he liked, but still doing a good job and trusting their approach.
And that game, a bit of an anomaly for the Ocean State Waves, scoring early in games. So many times this season, especially in the wins, they've started to score late. They've gotten to the bullpen, not the starting pitcher.
Here's LT Struble. That's in the 9-hole. First pitch fouled off the netting and the backstop, 0-1. Struble, 10 walks and 11 stolen bases. That is almost 3 times as many stolen bases as the entire Newport team. Here's the 0-1 pitch, waved and missed for strike 2. Nice elevated fastball.
LT Struble leads the team in hits, leads the league in stolen bases, or leads the team in walks, leads the team in stolen bases, also leads the team in strikeouts, which is kind of interesting.
It is interesting. You don't see that very often. Usually you see that from one of your bigger hitters,
Right.
but the 9-hole choking way up on the bat here with no balls and 2 strikes. Britton setting up outside. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball, hits his spot, and it's called for strike 3, second out of the inning, and just the first strikeout of the ball game for Powell. And now Kevin Winterroad comes out and wants to have a conversation.
LT Struble was tied for the team lead with one of the bigger power hitters in Garrett Hodges with 18 strikeouts. Now is the solo leader at 19.
So Winterroad coming out. Runners still on first and third. That's gone first, Ward on third base. Score still tied at 1 here in the top of the second. You wonder what this may be about. Probably first and third type of situation here. With 2 down in the inning, I think the Waves may try and manufacture something.
Now, Powell hasn't been the sharpest today. His strikes to balls is just separated by 6. 23 strikes on the night, 17 balls.
He's trying to get out of this inning unscathed. Here's Cullen Smith, leadoff man. He flew out to Hogeson in left field to start off the ball game. Foul from the stretch. First pitch fastball runs inside for ball 1. Smith steps out, now digs back in. Left foot all the way back in the left-handed batter's box. Britton setting up outside. Long pause. Here's the 1-0. Hits his spot. Check swing from Smith, but it doesn't matter. It was in there for strike 1.
Smith has had a phenomenal eye at the plate all season long. 9 walks this year, just 6 strikeouts. One of the few players on the Waves to draw more walks than strikeouts.
Britton giving some signs out to his infielders here. Runners on first and third. Powell shakes off Britton, now gets one he likes. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball, similar spot, same result. Taken for strike 2.
As a matter of fact, the only other player to draw more walks and strikeouts this season for Ocean State is Ryan Ward, despite his struggles.
Interesting. Stats that you don't usually see that often, kind of not lining up. 2 on, 2 out. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just stays a little outside. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. To remind everyone, you can follow the action and Newport Gulls on all the social media platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Newport Gulls. Break-even offering, high fastball, taken for ball 3. A couple of times we've seen him lose control of his fastball, just not even close. And now it's the second full count at bat in the inning for Waves hitters. Third of the ball game. Just in the top of the second inning. And now Smith wants time. So it seems like they're playing, it seems they're trying to feel each other out. Powell's taking a little time. Now Smith wants time, trying to get in each other's head possibly a little bit. Here's the 3-2 pitch, fouled to the backstop. We'll reset and do it again. Resk was off on the play, as he would be with a full count and 2 outs. Shadows creeping across the infield. From left to right, now covering Cody Hosey. About halfway between home plate and the mound. Be difficult to pick up the ball. Britton setting up inside. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's a fastball that's just a little low for ball 4. And now the Waves have the bases loaded, still with 2 outs.
Second walk of the day that Powell has thrown.
Not a bad pitch.
No.
Just good discipline from Smith. That'll bring up Quincy McAfee. He walked and scored in the first.
That pitch was actually similar to one that was called a strike a couple pitches prior. Tough pitch to lay off, though.
Definitely a tough pitch to lay off. Give him credit. First one to McAfee is fouled to the backstop for strike 1.
McAfee has now drawn 2 walks and is still 2 for 4 on the season in his brief stint with the Ocean State Waves. Played with the Orleans Firebirds of the Cape Cod League prior to coming here.
Newport with runners in scoring position, 2 outs from a pitching perspective. Opponents hitting .208, 1 home run, 16 hits. McAfee trying to break the 1-1 tie. 0-1 breaking ball misses just off the plate.
McAfee batted just .200 in the Cape Cod League before joining the NECBL. Now his first real big opportunity with the Ocean State Waves.
Powell gets the sign from Britton, sets the glove at the belt. There's the 1-1. High fastball misses for ball 2. Very patient hitters from the Waves. That's been the key. Hodges led off, popped out to Harvey at third. Then Ward singled on the line drive. Resk singled on the line drive. Struble struck out looking. Smith walked. Now 2-1 pitch coming to McAfee. It's popped up behind home plate, out of play. Newport 1, Ocean State 1. Game 3 of the Pell Bridge series here in the top of the 2nd inning. Newport won the first matchup 5-1. Ocean State came back with an 8-1 win in Game 2, a game that went just 7 innings, but with 6 outs left, it just didn't seem like Newport had it in them anyways. Kind of a flat game for the Gulls in that one.
What a wacky weather day that was.
Very bizarre. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball fouled off the end of the bat. Nice fight here from McAfee to stay alive.
We had sunshine in that game. We had rain in that game, clouds, and then ultimately fog.
Yeah, it started. I forgot about the rain.
Oh, yeah.
The dark clouds and then almost too bright. I forgot.
The rain lasted, what, half an inning?
Yeah, that was really wacky. Ward on third, Resk on second, Smith on first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses outside. Another full count. Nowhere to put him. If there's anybody warming up in the Newport bullpen down that left field line. Still just the top of the 2nd inning, but Powell has had to work hard. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Runners are off, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. So Powell challenges him with the high fastball, and he's able to win the battle and get out of the inning. Ocean State leaves the bases loaded and can't get anything across. Still 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the 2nd, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 1-1 your score here in Newport, Rhode Island. All knotted up between the Gulls and the Waves, separated by about 45-minute ride. Not too bad. A couple of bridges, but when there's no beach traffic, it can go quickly.
Not even. It took me a half hour to get here. I'll tell you, it took me the longest to find out parking.
Always interesting. Very bustling town is Newport, you know, especially 4th of July weekend. I was talking to our photographer, John Dilworth, and he said when 4th of July lands on a Wednesday, there are 2 weekends that are 4th of July, this being the first, and then about a week from now, it'll be round number 2 for everyone coming in. Newport, obviously a very beautiful town right by the water. Very nice destination to get away from the city or whatnot.
Absolutely gorgeous town.
Here's Logan Harvey. It'll be Harvey, Reed, and Gethings due up to face more Jesse in the 2nd inning. Newport got their first run off the RBI double from Cole Austin. Harvey from the right side. First pitch fastball taken for strike 1. He actually went on the off day to the Newport Museum of History.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, learned some cool facts about the town, and it was raining, so there wasn't much else to do. 0-1 fastball, just a little off the plate, now 1-1.
Did you retain anything?
1639, I believe it was founded or chartered.
Wow.
Pretty early. 1-1, breaking ball misses low and outside, now 2-1. You know, the whole story about Ann Hutchinson leaving and Roger Williams, the whole, you know, religious freedom type thing, that was a big part of Newport's founding. As the 2-1 is hit, a couple of hops to the shortstop McAfee, scoops it up, throws it the first, one gone.
Have you gone to see the mansions?
I have not. It's something that I've, you know, considered doing. Everyone who comes to Newport certainly should. The Mansions, obviously very famous. They're actually called cottages.
Okay.
For a long time. Not anymore.
No.
But when they were being used, that's something I retained from. They were like, yeah, we'll go to our cottages down on Bellevue Avenue. Here's Dalton Reed. First pitch swinging. He fouls it in and out of the mitt for strike one. Reed first in the NECBL with 18 runs scored. Batting .290, 20 hits, 3 doubles, 4 home runs. 0-1 pitch lined into left field, and he just gets over Smith's head and rolls to Ward out there in left. It's a 1-out single for Dalton Reed. See that a lot, especially with the wood bat. It's not forgiving, so if it's an outside pitch, especially a breaking ball, you can't really muscle it to the pull side. You have to go with the pitch, or else you're probably going to break it because there's really not much room for error.
It did make an interesting sound off the bat, though.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Didn't sound like a broken bat. I don't know if that came in on the barrel.
It was a lively sound. It was a big pop.
It was.
1-1, bottom of the second. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Jack Gethings. First pitch breaking ball misses low and outside for ball one. Gethings third in the NECBL with a .412 average. Right behind his teammate Britton. Also has a home run and 9 RBI. 1-0, another curveball. That one does drop in for strike one. Gethings, 5'10", 175 out of Fairfield University. Lefty-lefty matchup here. 1-1, another fastball. This one misses just low.
So Zach Britton came into the day with the highest batting average in the league at .413. Jack Gethings right behind him at .412. But I think Gethings now surpassed Zach Britton, striking out in his first at-bat.
Gethings batting for the first time as the 2-1 is chopped towards the first baseman English. He goes to second for one. McAfee back to first, and it is not in time. Would have been a very interesting 3-6-1, I believe, double play. It's hard to see who is covering there as we look at the replay on the screen. High chopper. So English went to McAfee, and then there's a lot of congestion there, actually. And it was English who stayed there.
Yeah, that was almost a little scary. But English went back to retrieve it. But that could have very easily been Vito Morgesi's ball, and luckily it didn't go all the way to the dugout.
But there are 2 outs on the 3-6 fielder's choice. Gethings on first. Here's Tim Tawa. First pitch breaking ball. Catches the inside corner for strike one. Yeah, the ball was hit so close to first base that English could just toss it over to McAfee at second and didn't really have to move. But as a pitcher, Morgesi, you're taught to go there. And you have a lot of legs, a lot of limbs that can get caught up. And, you know, like you mentioned, potentially scary. Another breaking ball to Tawa. This one runs well inside for ball one.
Well, it wasn't like one was trying to back the other one up. They were both trying to go for the ball.
Yeah, no, it was. And you had Gethings trucking down the first baseline. Everyone kind of met at the same spot at the same time. And where Jesse goes to check on Gethings. He does have some wheels. 4 stolen bases as a team. We've talked about it. It's not that they're not fast. It's just that's how they go about the ball game. And, you know, they have a team that leads in many offensive categories. 1-1 is skipped all the way to the backstop. Easy advance for Gethings. He now stands on second.
Well, when you're hitting the ball out of the ballpark as often as the Newport Gulls are, you don't really need to play small ball.
Exactly. I mean, that's, you know, you play to your strengths. Don't give away outs if you're hitting the ball as well as Newport is. 313 coming into this game. 124 runs, that's first. 189 hits, that's first. They lead the league in doubles. Second in home runs now to the Plymouth Pilgrims, who are becoming a very dangerous team. 2-1 popped up right side. Hodges giving chase near the warehouse, and he is not able to make the catch as it drops in fair territory. Gethings is able to score all the way from second, and Tawa has an RBI double. Newport takes a 2-1 lead. And that is just a very tough play for Hodges because you have the warehouse down the right field line. There's no room that separates it. So that brick wall is the line as it extends out there. You see him have to stop himself from running into it. And then we lose the ball. But it's something, you know, it's one of the quirks of Cardines Field.
Yeah, tough play for Hodges with the warehouse right there. A tough play for us, trying to figure out what happened because we're just completely blinded to anything going on behind that.
Just looking at Xander Jones coaching first base down there. He saw it get down. Now first pitch check swing off the bat of Britton for strike one.
So you just look for a signal from the first base umpire, whether it's fair or foul?
Signal, or you see the first base coach. Also sometimes on the monitor you can get a good angle on it. Here's the 0-1 pitch, fastball inside for ball one. Britton struck out swinging his first time up. Bottom of the second inning. Newport on top, 2-1. Tawa stands on second. Still 2 down in the frame. Britton trying to add one more. 1-1, nice breaking ball, waved and missed for strike two. More Jesse working from the stretch. Long look in. Shakes off Turner. Shakes him off again, so trying to get on the same page, and now time is called. And they'll have a meeting to try and figure things out. Britton with 2 outs, runs in scoring position as an individual. He is batting .250, just 4 at-bats. He does have 3 RBI. Trying to play Tawa. Tallied his second RBI of the season. Now a big lead off second, and that'll get more Jesse to step off. We had our field reporter, Arm Layton, talk to Tim Tawa when he first came to Newport, and he said, well, one of the things that I can do is help on the base pass, as that curveball is chopped down the first baseline foul. Reset and do the 1-2 pitch again. You know, he doesn't have any stolen bases so far this season, but he's been active and he's been doing things like that, getting secondary leads when he sees that Morgessi and Turner aren't necessarily on the same page, pitcher-catcher. Just another thing that Morgessi has to worry about is Tawa kind of bouncing around out there.
He has legged out now 3 doubles on the season, which is good for half of his hits.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, ground ball. Second baseman Struble goes to his right, scoops it up, makes the throw to first for out number 3. Newport is able to get one more off the RBI double from Tim Tawa. They lead it 2-1 as we head to the top of the 3rd inning right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Two to one, Newport on top. They get one in the first, they get one in the second, both off RBI doubles. The first one from Austin, the second one from Tawa. Well, we can certainly expect a back and forth game. At least that's what I would expect. Two teams ranked 1 and 2 offensively, facing off against each other. A lot of history between the two teams. Only, 30 minutes separates the two. Couple of bridges. It's a nice rivalry game, and there's not necessarily bad blood, but, proximity can certainly change the way you feel about another team.
Well, how many matchups in the NECBL have their own title, like the Pellbird series?
It's such a great point. That's an awesome point,
Right.
To be able to say Game 3 of the Pellbridge series, that's all you need to know about these two teams. So, top of the 3rd inning, here is Grant English. Holden Powell still on the hill. He was able to work out of a bases-loaded jam last inning, getting McAfee to swing and miss on the high fastball. The count is 4 runners left on base for the Waves so far in this game. First pitch, nice breaking ball taken for strike 1.
Well, the first inning ended with the bases loaded. Oh, no, that was the second inning. Excuse me.
First one they just left Turner on, but he had the RBI. Fastball from Powell catches the outside corner for strike 2. He's now pitching with a lead. English grounded out to Gethings at second back in the 1st inning. Powell winds and deals. Breaking ball misses in the dirt for ball 1. Top of the 3rd inning. 1-2 pitch. Line drive over the jumping Gethings, and it gets into right field for a hit. Mangrum is able to cut it off, but it's a leadoff single here for English.
We have a visitor in the booth.
We do have a visitor in the booth, and we always love to have Gully, the mascot of the Newport Gulls, visit us. And I'm trying to see, there was a baseball card given to me one day of all your statistics. I think it had high fives given, hot dogs eaten, chants started, and the projectability of your statistics from 2005 till the present. It went up every year as Michael Turner swings at the first pitch and fouls it down the left field line for strike one. And I know you can't talk, and I try to communicate with Gully Jr. as best I can, but the last time he came in here, I kind of spoke for him by saying, you put in the hard work day after day, you grind away. Hot dogs don't just eat themselves. It's something that you have to kind of get used to, and you've done a great job as that, as the 0-1 is fouled down the right field line for strike two. And, it's a credit to your work ethic, really. Gully nods his head in agreement, I guess. I don't know if he has a choice. 2-1, Newport on top of the third inning. English on first, Michael Turner awaiting the 0-2 pitch from Powell, who works from the stretch, gets the sign from Britton. Sets the glove at the belt. Here it is. And English was off in the play. The pitch was swung on and missed. The throwdown is not in time, but it's a strikeout there for Turner, and there's one down. Third strikeout of the evening for Powell.
That's the fifth stolen base of the season for Grant English.
So he surpasses the Newport Gulls team with stolen bases. You have four. It's something that you have to chuckle at, because there's just a lack of interest, almost disrespectful to stolen bases if it were an entity. 1-0 pitch, or 1-0 now to Mosky as he takes a first pitch fastball high for ball one.
So there are two players now with 5 stolen bases on the season for the Ocean State Waves, and one with 11.
That's not. Dylan Plew leads the Gulls with 2.
2, that's right.
1-0 breaking ball bounces in the dirt. English is off on the play. The throw from Britton to third is not going to be in time. English is safe. Nice stop from Britton, able to corral the ball, but credit English. He saw the low trajectory and had a great jump on it. Now he stands on third with 1 out.
After those two with 5 stolen bases, there's a big drop-off. Liam MacArthur is next, just 2 stolen bases on the season, but he only has 3 hits on the year. A lot of speed, but doesn't get a whole lot of playing time.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike one. Sacrifice fly ball is certainly in play here with just 1 out and English on third, trying to tie it up. Newport leading 2-1. Powell gets the sign, comes to the set. Late kick, 2-1 offering. Line drive down the right field line, foul and out of play.
Over the last 5 games, Brian Mosky's been swinging the bat very, very well. Actually, over the last 10 games, he's been quite unbelievable, leading the team in batting average at .406, 13 hits and 32 at-bats.
Trying to plate one more here. He grounded out to Gethings his first time up. That ended the first inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. English on third. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball waved and missed for strike 3. The 4th strikeout of the evening for Holden Powell, and there are 2 away here in the third.
Tell you what, that breaking ball looks really, really good, especially when it's down low in the dirt, fooling a lot of Waves hitters.
It just seems like you can sense the confidence from Powell. When he has the confidence, he has a 1-run lead. Not much, but when he has control of his stuff, the curveball has been his most effective pitch. Tries to face Hodges here. First pitch hit on the ground. Second baseman Gethings has some trouble, is able to scoop it up, fire it to first. It's close, but it is in time. Nice play and nice awareness there from Gethings, realizing he had time. Calm, cool, and collected. He puts down the Waves and leaves English on third. Newport leads it 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the third inning right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third inning, Newport on top, 2-1. And it is time to take a look around the NECBL. We'll send it over to Newport Gulls field reporter, Aram Layton. Aram.
Thanks, Dave. Vermont leads Danbury 2-1 in the top of the 4th. The red-hot Plymouth Pilgrims lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th as well. A lot of runs being scored in New Bedford, 10-5. New Bedford leads in the bottom of the 2nd. In the bottom of the 3rd in North Adams, they lead 4-0 against Sanford. And Keene trails 7-1 against the Valley Blue Sox only in the 2nd as well. A lot of runs around the NECBL already.
Yeah, everyone is kind of been waiting for that because of all the rainouts yesterday. So offense is having its way. Right here, a close one, 2-1 Newport on top. And you take a look at that Plymouth Pilgrims game against the Upper Valley Nighthawks. They're just continuing to roll. They have the top pitching staff in the league and second in home runs. Their offense is no slouch as well. First in home, rather. Now Newport's second in home runs. Their offense is not slouching. And right now, both the Gulls and the Waves are looking up at them.
Plymouth is first in home runs now?
They are first in home runs coming into this game. Just like that. Seemed like Newport was running away with the stat, and then they came roaring back. We'll see if the Gulls can try and add to their one-run lead here in this game. It'll be Hosey, Mangrum, and Austin due up in the bottom of the third. More Jesse still on the hill. First pitch high and inside, and that caught him. Right in the shoulder. Hosey knew it right away, and he is on with that hit by pitch for the second time he's been on. First time he's singled and scored.
Well, you asked the question earlier, what's the reason for the Southern Division really being so close in about a month into the season? Now, a big reason is, well, the Ocean State Waves, some of the best hitting in the league. Same with the Newport Gulls, same with the Plymouth Pilgrims. There's a lot of really, really solid teams in that division.
First pitch to Mangrum is a changeup that misses outside for ball one. And when they're all playing each other 6 times throughout the season,
right?
You know, it's immovable force, kind of, you know, unstoppable object, whatever the saying is. It's hard. You know, somebody has to lose the game, somebody has to win it, somebody's stats going to go down, and that kind of levels the playing field to kind of where we are now. But it makes for a lot of fun baseball for us, the fans, and the players as well.
What's interesting, though, is the first game the Ocean State Waves had against Plymouth, it was out in Plymouth, and it went to 10 innings, and I think that was a 3-2 victory for Ocean State.
1-0 popped up foul down the right field line, out of play for strike one. Cardines Field is surrounded by roads. You got America's Cup Avenue to the west, and you have West Marlborough Street to the south, so a lot of foul balls going into the streets, potentially breaking a lot of windows. We know in the first meeting, I believe your window was broken at Old Mountain Field on a foul ball. 1-1 pitch popped up right side into the grandstands for strike two.
I know my mom is watching this, so
maybe she doesn't know yet.
No, she actually found out because I talked about it on a later broadcast, and that's how she found out. But I want to clarify everything. My window is fine. Everything is fine. There's a little dent on my hood, but it's not noticeable, and everything's fine.
Mom, everything's fine. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball misses in the dirt. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mangrum. He singled in the first inning, was stranded on third after Hoganson struck out to end the first. 2-1 Newport on top. Bottom of the third inning. Hosey on first after he was hit by a pitch. English holding him on. Or Jesse from the stretch. 2-2 line drive into right field for a base hit. Hosey moves up 90 feet. Now runners on first and second with nobody out.
That's the 6th hit of the day off of Vito Morgessi, and how many of those have been to right field?
That's what I was going to say. A lot of them have been, you know, hard-hit ground ball line drive hybrids right between English and Struble on the right side of the diamond. Hodges has been busy, and you know, he had the double from Tawa that was right near the warehouse. Still playing pretty straight up, also very deep, rightfully so, as here's Cole Austin, had the RBI double in the first. First pitch swinging, deep fly ball to left field. Ward going back at the trap. He looks up, and this one is going to be gone. A 3-run home run for Cole Austin, his 6th of the season. Newport takes a 5-1 lead, and he now leads the NECBL in home runs. So Austin wastes no time. He pulls that one over the left field fence. Newport takes a 5-1 lead. That one was absolutely belted.
Cole Austin has some serious power showing it off there. And how high is that fence?
28 feet.
Oh, my goodness.
You have that cutout there. The tree makes it kind of tough. You had to look at the umpire as he was given the signal. It bounced back into the field of play. But not after, I believe, it touched a branch. So it is 5-1 now. Newport on top. Still nobody out. And Zach Hogeson takes the first pitch fastball for ball one.
And a tough test for Vito Morgesi, quickly having to put that in the rearview mirror.
1-0, curveball stays up. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Austin coming into this game versus the Waves. 1 for 9. He has struggled immensely against Ocean State. Now in this game, 4 RBI, a double, and a home run. And now we're going to have a mound visit here. I wonder if there's anybody in the bullpen for the Waves. There is not. You just see Jerry Burke talking things over with Gavin Sullivan out there in the bullpen. I believe it's Sarah that wants to have a word with Bullock. Kind of pointed at his arm as if he was possibly hurting.
So are we going to have someone come from the bullpen? Now he's signaling to the third base umpire.
Looks like somebody is going to rapidly try and warm up. See some arms being waved around in the bullpen, but this appears to be an injury, and now the trainers are coming out to talk things over. As it stands now, 5-1, Newport on top, bottom of the 3rd inning, nobody on, nobody out. 2 balls and no strikes to Hogeson, and we will take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So we have a pitching change here for the Ocean State Waves. It is Stephen Thetke taking the hill for what appeared to be an injury to Vito Morgesi.
Hard to tell what the injury was, but Thetke's going to have all the time in the world to warm up. Working on short notice.
Had to start like he was warming up on a tennis court, kind of about 20 feet away from home plate, because this was not expected.
No.
Newport led off the inning. Hosey was hit by a pitch. Mangrum had the single. And then Cole Austin on a first pitch fastball just scooped it over the left field fence. That's a souvenir for Mike Coombs, who possibly is sitting out there. Talked to him a little bit earlier on in the day. Coombs, of course, ejected on Wednesday evening. But he could be lurking around outside the ballpark, of course, not trying to break any league rules. But, you know, you do what you can. You try and watch the game. Bobby Valentine put on a mask one time. Before our time, I believe. But, you know, it's still, that was funny. Put on a mustache, maybe a nose and a pair of glasses.
Was when he was with the Mets?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
I'm a Mets fan.
You're a Mets fan. Well, that works out then.
Certainly before we started watching baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we may have been born, but before we started watching baseball. That's a fair point to make. Newport with a 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and we'd like to, welcome everyone who's listening across the country. Players coming in from West Coast, South, East, even possibly, from internationally. I've seen teams that have players outside of the United States, but I'd like to, quick shout out to Sue Hosey watching from Griffith, Indiana, and also Cindy Milbauer from Mukwonago, Wisconsin. I believe that's how it's pronounced. If it's not, please get in touch with somebody on the broadcast, because we're not trying to mess anything up. But you only know if you're told, But it seems like Mukwonago. That seems like it could be it.
I'm not going to take a shot at it.
You just kind of got to jam them all together. You don't sound it out too much, or else that's when you get yourself into trouble. Like Hogeson.
Right.
2 balls and no strikes to the Arizona State Sun Devil, who's having a conversation with home plate umpire, just trying to wait things out. Stephen Thetke taking the place of Vito Morgesi. Thetke actually pitched against the Gulls in his only game this season. That was in that 8-1 win on June 21st. Went 3 innings, gave up 1 run, 4 hits, walked 2, struck out no one. He makes his second appearance here with a 3.00 earned run average. 5-1, nobody on, nobody out. Already 3 runs across. Lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Hogeson. It's a breaking ball in there for strike 1.
I'm talking about not wanting to offend anybody with pronunciations. Thetke spells his name Theeetge. And if I remember correctly, we didn't know how to pronounce that when he first arrived.
That was a tougher one. 2-1 breaking ball waved over and missed for strike 2. That one just dropped off the table. You got to ask him.
We had to ask him. But I think for the first inning, we tried 3 different things.
That was his first time. He had showed up a couple days before, as the 2-2 is in there for strike 3. Hogeson goes down looking. First strikeout by Thetke, and there's one down here in the 3rd.
First strikeout of the season for Thetke. Not a bad way to start. Behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, and then throwing 3 straight strikes to retire Hogeson.
There's an inside pitch. Just froze up Hogeson. Newport has struck out 3 times in this ball game. Here's Logan Harvey. First pitch fastball. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. Harvey grounded out to McAfee at short in the 2nd inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Changeup misses outside. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. In the last 5 games, Harvey batting .333. 3 hits and 9 at-bats, 4 RBI. Thetke comes to the set. Here's the 1-1. It's a breaking ball that runs well inside all the way to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike now to the Wake Forest Demon Deacon. Harvey on the year, batting .273, 12 hits, 6 doubles, and 15 RBI. 2-1, fastball misses low and outside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
He's raked at Cardines Field, though, batting .333 on the season.
A lot of Newport hitters, they have liked to play in front of the Gulls faithful, batting .340 away, .373 on the road. .340 at home, .373 away, as the 3-1 pitch is popped up right side out of play. And we have a full count here to Harvey. This is the first full count that the Gulls have forced against Ocean State pitching so far in this ballgame. Also at Cardines, 39 doubles compared to 12 on the road. 3-2 pitch, high fastball taken for ball 4. Harvey rips off the elbow guard, shin guard, trots down the first baseline. He's on with 1 down. Already 3 runs across in the inning off the 3-run home run by Cole Austin. His 6th of the season. He leads the NECBL in that category. The 23rd team home run of the year for the Gulls.
How about this first stat? Logan Harvey just drew his 7th walk of the season. 5 of those 7 have been against left-handed pitching.
Colin Reed, first pitch breaking ball, misses outside. Seeing it better, I guess you have a little bit more time. You know, he's a right-handed hitter. That's not too unusual. Ball's not running inside on you, just where it's starting. As the 1-0 is waved over and missed for strike 1. Big swing from Dalton Reed.
But he's had nearly twice as many at-bats against right-handed pitching this year.
Dalton Reed had a nice little write-up in the Newport Daily News this morning, talking about adjusting the NECBL as he swings and misses on that curveball in the dirt for strike 2. Originally from Seminole State, now a commit to the University of Kentucky. And at Seminole State, he batted .374, 64 hits, 16 doubles, 18 home runs, and a .795 slugging percentage. That was 5th in the conference. Here's the 1-2, hit on the ground, shortstop McAfee scoops it up, goes to second for 1. The relay from Struble is close, but not in time. Reed hustling down the first baseline, able to break up the double play, but there are 2 gone in the inning.
Just 2 slowly hit on the ground. But a good turn from Struble at second base, somebody who is only playing his 2nd game at second base, but looking like a pro there.
Yeah, not much you could do.
No.
So 2 down, Reed is on first. Here's Jack Gethings. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored off the RBI double from Tim Tawa back in inning number 2. First pitch, breaking ball, misses low for ball 1. 7:54 here on the eastern seaboard. Newport, Rhode Island. Sun starting to go down at Cardines Field. Shadows almost covering the entire outfield as well, just about right field, the only one who's in the sun. 1-0 pitch, another curveball. This one low as well. Gethings with runners on base, batting .407, 27 at-bats. He has 6 RBI. 2-0 pitch, lined into the netting down the third base side.
And not surprising that your two best hitters, or the hitters with the two best batting averages for the Newport Gulls, are the two best hitters against left-handed pitching this year. Gething's right behind Zach Britton at .444 on the season.
And both lefties, you know, they're not afraid of the lefty-lefty matchup. You see that a lot where, you know, pitchers will be brought in, especially if you have a good breaking ball, a good slider. It can fool lefties and freeze them up if you're able to locate inside. But those two have been able to do it as he hits this one on the ground towards the second baseman, Struble, who fires it to first to retire the Newport Gulls. But they get 3 runs off the 3-run shot from Cole Austin and take a 5-1 lead. We'll head to the 4th inning. Don't go anywhere. You're tuning in to Newport Gulls baseball right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 5-1 Newport on top here in the top of the 4th inning. Dave Peck alongside voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp, and I will send it over to Jonah for the play-by-play duties.
Hey, thanks so much, Dave. Holden Powell back on the mound for his 4th consecutive inning. Facing the bottom third of the order for the Ocean State Waves, Ryan Ward, Dylan Resk, LT Struble, a combined 2 for 3 on the night. Ryan Ward, the first man up, entered today's ball game, and his last 5 games, just 1 for 16, and 1 for 1 on the night. Also has a stolen base.
Real quick, we'd like to welcome in the grandma and grandpa of Holden Powell, listening in all the way from Visalia, California. Powell with a nice 5-1 lead here.
First pitch slapped on the ground, left side of the infield, backhanded by Austin, goes to first with it, and it pulls the first baseman Harvey off the bag. In standing at first base, Ryan Ward. For now, it'll be a hit. And I think it's going to stay that way. 2 for 2 on the night for Ryan Ward.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough play. It was, you know, hit into the hole. Austin had to go all the way to his right. The only play was to make the throw on the run, all his momentum pulling him away from first. It was a throw that he had to make across his body, and naturally, you know, it took Harvey off the bag down the first baseline.
First pitch to Dylan Resk. A high fastball catches the upper half of the strike zone. Count 0-1.
You know, it's just one of those plays that could go either way.
Resk 1 for 1 on the evening. First pitch. Second pitch, rather. Sits outside. 1-1 the count. The sun right in the eyes of Ryan Ward over at first base.
We've seen a lot of trouble, especially for outfielders at Cardines, trying to play the sun and when the lights turn on as well.
Slapped in the air into right field, and that'll fall for a base hit and roll all the way to the fence. Ryan Ward digging for third base, digging for second base. Dylan Resk, the throw comes in. Ryan Ward being waved around. He'll come home to score, and the Ocean State Waves trail the Newport Gulls 5-2.
I mean, that one was perfectly placed. You have the corner out there in right center field, and Tawa had to kind of play it like it was going to hit off the flat part of the fence, and then it goes right to the right. You see there, it rolls all the way into the corner, and that allows Ward to score all the way from first. Perfectly placed, and it wasn't hit hard enough so that it got out there in a hurry. It was just, you know, perfect timing. Surprised maybe that wasn't a triple. We don't see many here at Cardines.
Dylan Resk, not the fastest runner. An RBI double standing at second base. This one bunted foul down the third base line. Count 0-1 to LT Struble.
Lights are on here at Cardines. Around 82 degrees. Crowd comfortable here at the grandstands, painted in green, a nice historic green, almost a Fenway green.
That's
right.
right.
As far as to say.
It has cooled down a bit, but I'd say it was even hotter than 82. Another bunt down the third base line, another foul ball. Count remains 0-2.
Definitely being in the sun pregame, beating down. Well, it's also because we're wearing jackets and ties.
That's right.
That's part of it. As the game goes on, it always gets a little cooler. But, you know, we can't be complaining here. A lot of the players coming from warmer areas around the country, and they were saying it was freezing the first couple weeks of the season. They got to be loving this.
LT Struble 0 for 1 on the night. Runner on second. And LT Struble's rung up on a pitch on the outer half. Second time tonight, LT Struble's been caught looking. 1 away.
Nice pitch, just froze him. It was a breaking ball that caught the inside corner. 6th strikeout of the ballgame for Powell.
That brings up Cullen Smith, the leadoff man. That's here with the runner on second and 1 away. Top of the 4th inning. A 5-2 lead for the Newport Gulls. Smith 0 for 1 on the night. Takes a pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. The light's beginning to turn on here at Cardines Field as the sun continues to set.
Just past the 8 o'clock hour. Talking to Hogeson, guy who's been in the outfield pretty much every game for Newport. Around 8:30, that's when it begins to give a lot of these fielders trouble.
Another pitch up and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Cullen Smith.
As Coach Coombs likes to say, you know, that's when you enter the twilight zone here at Cardines Field. Rod Sterling, the director, producer, I believe, talking to him about something, and he made some reference to the TV show from the 20th century.
The 2-0 is fouled back, 2-1.
Did you ever watch The Twilight Zone?
Not really. I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah.
I've also seen a couple episodes of Black Mirror, which a lot of people say...
It's probably the contemporary...
Right, the modern-day Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
2 balls and 1 strike to count to Cullen Smith. Quincy McAfee on deck. Man on second. 1 away in the top of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Missed low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Cullen Smith out of Lebanon, Tennessee, a rising junior at East Tennessee State University. 5-2, Gulls on top, 1 run home in the inning. Powell checks the runner at second, sets at the belt. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. A full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's something that Ocean State's been doing. Working full counts. Newport only had that 1 in the ball game. It was last inning to Harvey. Waves just being a little bit more patient, but, you know, 5 runs to 2. Powell just being a little bit more particular about his spots, and if he's been missing, it hasn't been by too much. A couple of fastballs that have been up, but doing a good job not leaving too many balls over the plate and really keeping the Waves on their toes.
The payoff pitch on the way. Lifted in the air, straightaway center field. Tawa circling under it. Now chasing it, dives. Did he trap it or catch it? He trapped it. Stopping at first base is Cullen Smith. Moving over to third is Dylan Rex. Now runners at the corners for the Ocean State Waves with just 1 away.
I mean, basically, just as we said it, you know, it appeared to be a routine pop out to very shallow center field. And Tawa just seemed to have lost that a little bit.
Almost like he didn't have a read right off the bat. We'll have a brief conference on the mound.
Yeah, he went back a good margin, which is what you're taught to do, but you could tell off the bat that it wasn't hit very hard. He just kind of misread it, and now Kevin Winterode is out to talk things over with Powell.
Well, balls hit right at you in center field, some of the toughest to play in baseball. It's hard to judge distance.
The fortunate thing, there was just 1 out, so Resk wasn't off on contact, and he's forced to stop at third. Take a look down the left field line, see if there's any action. And there is. It's Gavin Sullivan out of Louisville. Starting to warm up.
Well, the conference complete. 1 run home in the inning. The Waves threatening with the tying run walking up to the dish, Quincy McAfee. Struck out to end the 2nd inning. Left the bases loaded for the Ocean State Waves. Now a different story in the game with the Waves trailing by 3.
This is important, especially after Newport put up 3 runs in their inning, to be able to bounce right back and answer.
The first pitch. Slapped on the ground to the right side, through the hole for a base hit. Rounding second is Cullen Smith. The throw a little bit late. Cullen Smith making it to third base. Throw goes into second. Stopping at first base, Quincy McAfee as the run comes home. Now a 5-3 lead for the Newport Gulls.
Taking a page out of Newport's book, hitting it right between Harvey and Gethings over there on the right side, and now Coach Grawl is coming out, and it looks like he's going to have a pitching change. Mike Coombs not in attendance today. Greg Grawl is the manager, and Gavin Sullivan will enter the game.
So we'll have a pitching change. We'll step aside. A 5-3 lead for the Newport Gulls. The Waves threatening. Now the tying run on base over at first base. We'll step aside right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Back here at Cardines Field, top of the 4th inning, just 1 away and runners at the corners for the Ocean State Waves. Already 2 runs home in the inning. A Dylan Resk RBI doubled, and he came home to score on a Quincy McAfee single. So Holden Powell's night is over, leaving 2 on base. Both of them could be charged to him. Book not yet closed on him. Gavin Sullivan, the new pitcher out of Louisville, Kentucky. A rising sophomore at the University of Louisville, making his 5th appearance of the season, has given up 4 earned runs through 4 1/3. And 4 seems to be the lucky number. 4 strikeouts and 4 walks. An ERA of 8.31. Not an easy test here. The tying run on base, on first base. Cullen Smith off of third, Quincy McAfee off of first, just 1 away in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, you know, this is going to be a tough spot. We saw Thetke able to come in and strike out the first batter he faced, so he looked good. We'll see what Sullivan can do. This is his first appearance since June 20th in that 6-5 walk-off win over the Danbury Westerners.
Obviously a much different scenario for Stephen Thetke. Came in with nobody on and nobody out.
In that weird, bizarre situation when he was hurt, and you don't see that very often where you have to start your warm-up process when you come out onto the mound.
First pitch to Grant English. Sits upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. English 1 for 2 on the night. Single to lead off the 3rd inning, was left stranded. Hit into a fielder's choice in the 1st.
Sullivan throwing to his fellow Cardinal, Zach Britton now.
Lined in the air into left field, charging at it Hogeson. He'll slide and make the catch. Tagging from third base, Cullen Smith. The throw comes in, not in time. And taking off from first base and making it safely, Quincy McAfee. Now another runner in scoring position for the Ocean State Waves. They only trail by 1.
Yeah, that one was laced. Nice play by Hogeson, sliding on his feet, and he got the throw in very quickly. It kind of got under the glove of Hosey there, and then Britton wasn't expecting it. Ran all the way to the backstop. Nice heads-up play by English to advance into scoring position.
Now in steps Michael Turner. 3 runs home in the inning. A 5-4 Newport Gulls lead. Still just, well, now just 2 away. But a runner in scoring position. Michael Turner 1 for 2 on the night. The pitch from Sullivan. Sits outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Turner singled in the 1st inning, struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. A left-on-left matchup. Cracked in the air, deep to right field. Will that go foul? Yes, it will. 1-1.
Boy, that one was hit hard. Mangrum didn't even give it a chase.
Michael Turner does not have a home run this season. Gave that one for a ride.
Only 12 for the Waves on the year. That's 9th in the league.
Turner does have 5 doubles. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, just off the plate, a little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Brian Moskey would be next if Turner can keep the inning going. Here's the pitch. Low and away. 3-1. Michael Turner from Warren, Ohio. Rising sophomore at Kent State University. Entered the ball game batting .311. He does have an RBI in this game. Here's the pitch. Line right back to the pitcher. Sullivan makes an awfully athletic play and tosses the first base in time to retire Michael Turner and retire the side. And what a play on the mound for Gavin Sullivan. Ocean State Waves get 3 back. They still trail the Newport Gulls 5-4. Still a ball game, though. The Gulls come to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. Stick around on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Back here for the bottom of the 4th inning. Top of the order coming up. Tim Tawa, Zach Britton, Cody Hosey. Frankie Valli leading us in to the bottom of the 4th inning. A 5-4 lead for the Newport Gulls in game number 3 of the Pellbridge Series over the Ocean State Waves. The Waves got 3 back in the last half inning, and the Gulls have a chance to respond.
That's a big answer. That's a gutsy answer by the Waves. You know, it's something that defines a really good ball club. You get smacked in the mouth and a 3-run home run by Austin, then you are able to manufacture 3 more.
Tim Tawa, the first man up, 1 for 2 on the night. First pitch, squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike on the outer half, count 0-1. Doubled in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to third. Back in the 1st. Tim Tawa, Zach Britton, Cody Hosey. This one skips all the way to the backstop, forcing Tawa to skip away from it. Count even, 1-1.
Yeah, he was skipping all over the place. Kind of went behind him, I believe.
One that just got away from Stephen Thecke. Thecke came in relief of Vito Morgessi in the last inning. Here's the pitch. Tapped behind home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Morgessi went 2 innings pitched, exited with nobody out and nobody on base in the 3rd inning after giving up a 3-run home run to Cole Austin. One and 2 the count. The pitch. Taken low. 2-2.
Tawa's a guy, rising sophomore at Stanford. Had a .296 average. That was 3rd of all regulars. Had the most at-bats on the team. 2nd in hits, 2nd in runs. 1st with 18 doubles. He really made his mark on that team.
The 2-2 waved at and missed at a pitch in the dirt. Michael Turner comes up throwing, throws over to first in time. 1 away.
Chased on a couple of low ones there.
That brings up Zach Britton, 0 for 2 on the night. A strikeout in the 1st inning, grounded out to end the 2nd.
No 1, 2, 3 innings for either team so far in this ballgame.
What do you expect from the 2 best hitting teams in the NECBL?
That's a fair point.
First pitch to Zach Britton, taken off the plate and a little bit outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes.
8 hits for Ocean State, 7 for Newport.
1 away in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch. Grounded foul to the right side of home plate, 1-1. Britton entering tonight, leading the entire league in batting average of .413 clip on the season. Held in check tonight, 0 for 2. The 1-1. Taken low. 2 balls and 1 strike to Zach Britton. From Batesville, Indiana, 6'1", 195 pounds. A left-on-left matchup. Britton really crowds the plate with his stance. Here's the pitch. Taken low and away. And Thecke falls behind, 3-1.
Yeah, that's a tough take, too, because it looked like he was going to catch the lower part of the zone, dropped off the last second. And he was able to hold up his swing.
Nobody on, 1 away. Here's the pitch. Taken on the outside corner, and that's strike 2. Count runs full. Britton entering tonight, leading the league in batting average, leading the team in doubles. Off the plate, ball 4.
That's a close pitch to take as well, but a nice size. Britton trots down with the walk. First time he's been on base today.
That brings up Cody Hosey with a man on first and 1 away.
Hosey scored twice, was hit on the first pitch. Fastball is up and in, but didn't seem to be phased by it. May have hit his shoulder a little.
Britton goes, the pitch is strike, and the ball gets away from Michael Turner. Count 0-1 to Cody Hosey.
Tried to rip it out of his glove so quickly, it just kind of flew behind him.
I do want to make a correction. Zach Britton is 2nd in the league entering today's ball game, but he's 1st in the Southern Division. The pitch from Thecke is ripped foul. Back behind home plate, 0-2.
Jackson Coots, 474.
Yeah.
And that's not a fake 474. He's got 27 hits and 57 at-bats. Boy, is that impressive.
Thecke checks the runner at 2nd. Pitch high upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hosey with a single in the 1st inning was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. 1 for 1. Stevie Mangrum on deck, Cole Austin behind him. A combined 4 for 4 on the night. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. On the outside corner, strike 3 called.
Hosey gave a quick look back, but another good pitch, and with 2 strikes, it's very tough to take those pitches. And there were a lot of calls that didn't go Newport's way on Wednesday night, and they were upset. But, you know, like we mentioned, you can learn from it, or you can continue to struggle. It's just frustration can build that way, but you have to try and figure it out.
The 15th time this season, Hosey has struck out. First time he's been retired tonight. Now 2 away for Stevie Mangrum. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Count 0-1. Mangrum 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Came around to score on the Cole Austin 3-run jack in the last inning. A 5-4 Newport Gulls lead over the Ocean State Waves. 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. Breaking ball on the inner half. Count 0-2.
I mean, you have to credit Thetke here. Like, he's chipping away. He's hitting his spots inside, outside, and getting ahead on a lot of Gulls hitters.
Thetke checks the runner at second base. Sets of the letters, kicks, delivers. Pitch just a little bit outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thetke pitching in just his 2nd game for the Waves this year. Gave up an earned run in his first outing. Went 3 innings. Runner goes on the pitch. Bounced into the dirt, skipping away from Michael Turner, making it safely at third base, Zach Britton. Now another run just 90 feet away from the Newport Gulls. A 2-2 count to Stevie Mangrum.
Yeah, that's just a good job by Britton. He was off before, and he got a pretty good jump. You don't see that very often from the Gulls, but trying to put something together here. They have, you know, still 2 down, but a timely hit from Mangrum would be a nice little answer to kind of swing the pendulum of momentum, as Mike Lord would say.
The 2-2. On the inside corner, strike 3 called, and that retires the side. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Stephen Thetke, working around a 1-out walk. The Newport Gulls strand 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. They still lead the Ocean State Waves 5-4. That's where we stand after 4. Stick around on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Top of the 5th inning, Brian Moskey, Garrett Hodges, Ryan Ward, 5, 6, and 7 in the Waves batting order, all due up against Gavin Sullivan, in for inning number 2. A 5-4 Gulls lead over the Ocean State Waves. Jonah Karp and Dave Peck, thanks for spending your Friday evening with us.
Back-to-back strikeouts looking on close pitches. It's frustrating, and it's easy to say something from here. It's another thing to be able to pull the trigger when you're down there, and you have Thetke who's going inside, outside, kind of spotting up both his fastball and his breaking ball. And it's frustrating, but.
So is that more on the hitter, or do you credit Thetke for moving around the strike zone?
Yeah, I think it starts with Thetke, because it puts that little shred of doubt in your mind, and that's when you have 2 strikes. It's easy to say you have to swing the bat, but when you are able to locate like that and do it continuously, that's what really gets batters to freeze, and that's what happened in that inning.
First pitch to Brian Moskey. Taken outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Moskey grounded out to end the 1st inning. Struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. The 1-0. Taken for a strike on the inner half, 1-1. So Moskey 0 for 2. Garrett Hodges on deck. He's also 0 for 2. Ryan Ward behind him. He's 2 for 2. Pitch low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Final stat line for Powell, 3 1/3. 8 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned, 2 walks, and 5 Ks.
Sullivan into the windup. Slapped on the ground. A broken bat. Scooped on the backhand by Harvey. Goes to first with it. Covering, not in time, is Sullivan. And Brian Moskey in standing at first base with an infield single.
Yeah, it just brought Harvey way to the right. And trying to see if Sullivan was maybe a little late to get over there. It was a long run. And he was just kind of fading off as a lefty. You're fading away from first base. So you have to kind of recoil, balance yourself, and then hustle over to first. As a righty, you're already headed that way after your release.
And Brian Moskey has a lot of speed, really on his horse down the first base line. That brings up Garrett Hodges, man on first, 1 away, or nobody out. And the first pitch low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Garrett Hodges 0 for 2 on the night. Just Hodges and Struble haven't recorded a hit for the Ocean State Waves yet. The 1-0. Catches the outer corner, 1-1.
Nice breaking ball there, good mix.
Hodges entered the ball game, leading the Ocean State Waves in batting average at a .351 clip. Also in hits with 20. This one skips to the left of Britton behind the dish. No throw over to second base as Mosky takes off and makes it in safely. Another runner in scoring position for the Ocean State Waves. Now the tying run at second base. A 5-4 Newport Gulls lead. Nobody out in the top of the fifth. A 2-1 count. The pitch from Sullivan. Upstairs. Now a good hitter's count to Garrett Hodges.
Before the pitch, you know, Mosky was skipping a little bit off of second base while Sullivan was just looking at him, and then saw Sullivan go to the plate and really miss high on that fastball by a large margin.
The 3-1 is taken off the plate outside, and Garrett Hodges works a walk. Runners on first and second for the Waves. And the red-hot Ryan Ward walking up to the dish.
Yeah, control beginning to be an issue, and here comes Kevin Winterode.
The Waves got back within 1 in the last inning, plated 3. Really hit the ball hard, knocked Powell out of the game. Gavin Sullivan came in.
Augie Milbauer starting to get warm here.
Now here comes the home plate umpire. Tyler Bullock calling the balls and the strikes tonight. Runners on first and second. Nobody out in the top of the fifth inning. The Ocean State Waves threatening once again.
It's been a different game compared to the first two. Only 1 run for the loser of both games. The other one pretty much had a good command, at least offensively. But, you know, this one's a little bit more back and forth. As the season goes on, they see each other a few more times. Things begin to even out. To be expected. But patience has been a big part of this game as well. No one's been really giving anything to the other. Pitchers taking their time. Batters not letting pitchers get into too much of a rhythm.
Sullivan checks the runner at second, now steps off the rubber. But to play into that, when runners are on base, they're scoring.
That's the difference today.
Right.
That's the difference today.
2 on, nobody out, top of the fifth. The pitch to Ward is downstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Ward singled in the second and singled in the fourth. Came around to score in the fourth inning. Here's the pitch. Taken upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes.
Sullivan just struggling with location right now. Powell, when he was missing, he was around the zone, but these really haven't been close.
A left-on-left matchup, the 2-0. Taken downstairs, and Sullivan falls behind. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, Ryan Ward is 2 for 2, and the man right behind him is Dylan Resk, who's also 2 for 2.
And both of them scored last inning.
Pick your poison. Sullivan checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. 2 straight walks after a leadoff single to Brian Mosky. Still nobody out in the top of the fifth inning.
Yeah, and you wonder how long the leash is going to be. Britton coming out. Grawl looking like he's about to call time, and I think he will here.
Brian Mosky on third base. Garrett Hodges on second base. Ryan Ward on first base. Nobody out in the top of the fifth.
And, yep, they're going to go to Milbauer.
So that'll be it for Gavin Sullivan. Bases loaded, nobody out. A tough place for a brand new pitcher. The Waves only trail by 1. The tying run just 90 feet away. You don't want to miss what happens next. A 5-4 Newport Gulls lead in the top of the fifth inning. Stick around on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. New pitcher in for the Newport Gulls, a 5-4 Gulls lead, but there's nobody out, and the base is loaded for the Ocean State Waves. Holden Powell started the game, left in the 4th inning. Gavin Sullivan came in to relieve him, and now exits in the 5th inning. All 3 runs could be charged to him, a brand new pitcher, Austin Milbauer, rising sophomore at Texas Christian University, making his 9th appearance of the season already for the Newport Gulls in a non-enviable position.
And he has been very good lately. Did not give up an earned run against Valley in that 7-5 win. Did not give up an earned run in that 6-5 walk-off win over Danbury. He's got a 5.26 earned run average in 13 2/3 innings pitched, 14 Ks, 9 walks, and 11 hits.
Faces Dylan Resk first, and Resk lifts one in the air to right field. Charging at it is Mangrum. He makes the catch. Holding at third base is Brian Mosky. A huge first out for Milbauer, 1 away.
Nice pitch there. I mean, it was a line drive. Mangrum able to come into his left, and certainly not a ball that Mosky could score on. Mangrum with a very strong arm. Nice one-hopper to Britton.
That's the first time tonight Dylan Resk has been retired, now 2 for 3. That brings up LT Struble, the only man in the Ocean State Waves order to not get on base tonight.
And he struck out looking both times.
If he gets on base, the game is tied, presumably. Here's the pitch. High chopper on the ground, right side of the infield. That'll get a run home. The toss to second gets away from the second baseman Gethings. Coming home to score is another Ocean State Waves run. And they now lead it 6-5.
That is just a tricky play, and you know, it's a bang decision that Gethings had to make. Do you try and spin it in the infield? He was coming in. He went in front of second, so it had to be a tough backhand to Austin. Or do you get one out and you surrender a run, keep it tied? They get neither, 6-5. There's still just one out.
Well, LT Struble, not the easiest guy to double up. So you think you probably get that one out, at the very least over at second base, but now you don't get any out. Colin Smith swings at the first one and fouls it back, count 0-1. So 2 runs come home, Brian Mosky and Garrett Hodges.
That's frustrating, too, if you're Milbauer. You know, you get a first pitch out when you get Resk, and then you do exactly your job, induce a ground ball, middle infield. It's just one of those quirky plays. You know, very good positioning on the grounder.
Still just 1 away in the top of the 5th. Runners go, and the pitch taken downstairs. Both runners are going to be safe. And the count 1-1 to Colin Smith.
Yeah, they got a very good jump. Milbauer kind of had a leg lift on that one. He didn't slide step at all, so they took advantage of it and were off basically a third of the way down before he'd even released the ball.
LT Struble on second base, Ryan Ward on third base. 2 runs already home in the inning. A 6-5 lead for the Ocean State Waves. The pitch. Catching the outer half, 1-2. Colin Smith has reached base twice tonight. A walk in the second inning, a single in the 4th inning. 1 for 2. Quincy McAfee on deck. Here's the pitch. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Colin Smith didn't like it. Milbauer bailed out. Now there's 2 away.
That's a nice spot. I mean, we talked about it for Gulls hitters. Things that are close the whole time. Bullock's been calling the corners pretty loosely. And that one, you know, outside pitch, but right on the corner. And 1 ball and 2 strike count. Smith just was frozen on it. Nice pitch from Milbauer, and that's a big one here. Try and limit it. Still just a 1-run game.
A 1-run game now in favor of the Ocean State Waves. The first pitch to Quincy McAfee. Taken for a strike on the outer half.
And right there, kind of doing what Thetke was doing. He's able to locate the outside pitch on the outside corner, and it kind of programs the umpires, especially as the game goes on. You'll see them loosen up their zone a little bit, especially if Britton is setting up his glove outside and Milbauer hits it. It doesn't necessarily matter, technically, if it's on the plate.
The 0-1 taken downstairs. 1-1.
You see that a lot with umpires, especially at the college level. Kind of rewarding spots and kind of penalizing hitters if they're not being aggressive or protective with 2 strikes, as long as it's relatively close.
It has been a pretty wide strike zone all night for Tyler Bullock. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Lifted foul behind home plate.
What it does is force hitters to be more aggressive, you know. And honestly, it might simplify things a little bit, because if you have a mindset that's, I'm going to swing at anything, I'm going to swing at anything, it simplifies it. You have less decisions to make, and you starting your swing with the mindset that you're going to go all the way through, and then last second you're able to make the decision when it's not in the strike zone. But it's an approach that simplifies his hitting.
The 1-2. Lifted in the air, straightaway center field, chasing Tawa back. Now he circles in, makes the catch, and retires the side. Nobauer works out of some trouble, but the Ocean State Waves take the lead after leaving 2 stranded. They now lead the Newport Gulls 6-5, entering the home 5th inning. Stick around on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Bottom of the 5th inning, Newport trailing 6-5 against the Ocean State Waves. Game number 3 of the Pellbridge series. Jonah Karp and Dave Peck. Pleasure to be your eyes and ears for the broadcast. Cole Austin, Zach Hogeson, Logan Harvey. 5, 6, and 7 in the Gulls batting order. Will try to tie it or take back the lead for the Gulls.
You know, I forgot to mention, because he was first pitch swinging, hitting it over the left field fence his first time up. Cole Austin looking sharp with a new haircut. Had the long hair the entire season, and, you know, gets a little hot in Newport. Want a fresh look. He got, I believe, 2 days ago, possibly yesterday, but, you know, switching it up. And so far, he's 2 for 2 with 4 RBI with short hair.
How long was his hair?
Decently.
Down to his shoulders?
Nah, not that long, but decently long.
First pitch up and away, 1 ball and no strikes to Austin.
Noticeably long, I would say.
Austin 2 for 2 on the night. Brand new haircut, the 1-0. Taken off the plate outside, 2-0.
Transfer from West Virginia. Could not play at Arizona State this past season, but he had a good year for the Wolverines.
Swung on and missed. Makes a big home run cut. 2 balls and a strike.
In 2017, he started all 58 games, had a .302 average in 242 at-bats. 3rd in hits, tied for 2nd in runs, tied for 2nd in doubles, and 7 home runs.
The 2-1 catches the inner corner. A 2-2 count to Cole Austin. Austin's 3-run home run in the 3rd inning was the difference for a while. The Ocean State Waves taking back the lead. Here's the pitch. Taking downstairs. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Stephen Thecke back on the mound for the Ocean State Waves. First time tonight he's pitched with the lead. Sets the letters. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4. A leadoff walk to Cole Austin.
That's exactly what Newport needs. Get a base runner on to start off the inning. The last time that happened, it was a 3-run inning for the Gulls.
3rd walk of the night from Waves pitching. The 3rd consecutive inning. The Waves have walked a batter. Tying run on base on first base, Zach Hogeson 0 for 2 on the night. Strikeout swinging in the 1st inning. A strikeout looking in the 3rd inning. Throw back to 1st. Cole Austin not taking a big lead off the first base bag.
And Morgetzi didn't walk anyone. All of them have been to Thecke.
Austin not exactly a threat to run. Pitch downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes.
Again, a guy who has speed. He's played right field, left field, shortstop, athletic kid. There's really no need for him.
No stolen bases on the year. Now the solo leader in the NECBL in homers. Downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes to Hogeson.
And, you know, he's not that big of a guy. 6'2", 195. Leads the NECBL in home runs, but a lot of times you see, 6'4", upwards of 220, kind of getting that statistic. But he's got an athletic build, and he's shown that he has a lot of pop on his bat. And especially doubles and home runs as well. That's always a good sign because you know that he can make plays in the middle infield and possibly in the right system be a threat on the base paths.
The 2-0 sits low and away, and it's a 3-ball and no strike count to Zach Hogeson. Seems like the Gulls have a number of players in their lineup like that. A lot of small and deceptively powerful players. Breaking ball on the outer half, 3-1.
Yeah, you know, Dalton Reed is the guy that you look at as that classic build. He's 6'4", 220. You know, Hogeson, who has 3 home runs in the year, 6'4", 200. Tall guy, but not a huge frame.
The 3-1 downstairs. Second consecutive walk from Stephen Thecke. Now runners on first and second, nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
You got a guy like Hosey, too, 6'4", 195. And he's got 4 home runs, and that speaks to their mechanics. That speaks to their ability as baseball players, not necessarily, you know, just about their physique.
Jack Gething's another one, just 5'10", 175 pounds, has 4 doubles and a homer on the season. Brian Kehoe, the pitching coach, going out to talk to his relief pitcher. The bottom of the 5th, almost a mirror image of the top of the 5th inning that saw the Ocean State Waves take the lead. Ocean State had the bases loaded and nobody out.
Infield not coming on for this conversation. Most likely somebody warming in the bullpen for Ocean State here, just a 1-run game. And there's not. They're going to keep him in. I mean, he's been good despite these 2 walks in this inning. Prior to it, you know, he struck out 3 batters, but how long is the leash? That's the question. You know, how many walks do you need to see until you start at least warming someone up?
Thecke came in the 3rd inning, got all 3 outs after 3 runs came home. Has to deal with 2 runners on base. Bunted down the 3rd baseline. Thecke comes over, throws over to first in time. 1 away, but now there's 2 in scoring position for the Newport Gulls.
That was a really nice bunt, but a really nice defensive play there. Thecke getting off the mound, and LT Struble coming all the way to cover first base as English was charging on the play. Did a good job catching the ball and getting his foot on the bag there. That's not easy to do.
We're going to have a pinch hitter in for Dalton Reed, who was batting in the 8th hole in the designated hitter role tonight.
It's Liam O'Regan. Middletown, Rhode Island native.
A rising senior at Elon. First pitch swing, and he fouls it back. Count 0-1.
O'Regan batting .250 on the year. He's got 3 hits, including a double and a home run. Also has 6 RBI.
Bats here with 2 in scoring position and 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. A 6-5 lead. Ocean State on top of the Newport Gulls. The pitch. Check swing. Had a pitch in the dirt. He didn't go around. 1-1.
And now they check him, but first base umpire Keith Peterson confirmed that he did not go around.
That was a late check. So Dalton Reed's night is over. Singled in the 2nd inning. Hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice in the 3rd. 1 for 2. O'Regan, a right-handed batter. The pitch from Thecke. Cut on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
And if you remember in that first matchup, or the second matchup between these 2 teams, when O'Regan came in, it was the curveball that was getting him early and often, and he had 2 strikeouts, 0 for 3 in that ball game.
The 1-2. Chopped on the ground, left side of the infield, picked by the 3rd baseman Smith, goes across the diamond in time. Now there's 2 away. 2 mountainous outs for Stephen Thecke, and that brings up the number 9 batter, Jack Gethings.
Gethings has been a guy that's certainly very productive, especially against Ocean State. Somebody that you want up at this time right now.
Gethings entered tonight batting over 400, 0 for 2. Taking a pitch on the outer half for a strike, count 0-1. 2 groundouts tonight. a 6-3 in the second inning, a 4-3 in the third inning.
He was 3 for 4 last time these two teams played with a double.
Check swing at a pitch upstairs. Didn't go. 1-1.
One of few bright spots for the Newport offense in that ball game.
A game where the Gulls offense only managed 1 run in 7 innings. Off speed, taken inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tying run 90 feet away. Go ahead run 180 feet away. 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. A 2-ball, 1 strike count to the number 9 batter. Here's the pitch. Lifted in the air, left center field, charging out at Mosky, moving over to his right, and he'll make the catch, fighting off Ryan Ward, who is also closing in. That'll retire this side. Stephen Thecke doing some magic, working around 2 walks to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. And after 5, it's the Ocean State Waves 6 and the Newport Gulls 5 on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. We got some Doobie Brothers on top of the 6th inning. I love the playlist.
Thank you.
We had Jackson Brown, we had Frankie Valli, now we have Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff, you know, and there's 60s, 70s, not too much 80s, a little bit of contemporary country, but we like to mix it up.
A 6-5 Ocean State Waves lead in the top of the 6th inning. Grant English, Michael Turner, Brian Mosky. 3, 4, and 5 in the Waves batting order. First pitch strike from Milbauer, count 0-1.
Little Fleetwood Mac here and there.
Love Fleetwood Mac. You have any Eagles?
I do have Eagles. Haven't played any tonight.
Another pitch just missing the outside corner. A 1-1 count to Grant English. English singled in the 3rd inning, hit a sacrifice fly in the 4th. Another one just missing the outer corner of the plate, 2-1. 11 runs scored in this game. We've been spoiled with an offensive output. Fouled straight back. A 2-2 count.
Sullivan just went 2/3 of an inning. 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 of which was earned, 2 walks, and no Ks. Only faced 5 Ocean State hitters.
Every runner has reached base for the Ocean State Waves tonight. Another foul ball, another 2-2 count. 11 runs scored in this game. 11 runs scored in the North Adams-Sanford game. Sanford leading North Adams in the top of the 6th inning, 7-4. A lot of high-scoring games on this Friday evening. Lifted foul down the first base line. Out of play, 2-2. A 5-3 Vermont lead over Danbury in the bottom of the 7th. A 7-2 Upper Valley trailing Plymouth in the top of the 8th inning. 7-1 Valley on top of Keene in the bottom of the 5th. The 2-2. Off speed, taken upstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the big one, if you will, in the top of the 5th inning, New Bedford leading Mystic 13-9. A lot of teams on an offensive surge after nobody played yesterday.
A lot of foul balls here for English.
English putting up a good fight, a 3-2 count. Michael Turner on deck. Nobody on, nobody out. Here's the pitch. Another foul ball. And we'll do it again with a full count.
It'd just be so frustrating as a pitcher. Somebody as pesky as English. From a hitting standpoint, though, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to. Fight him off until you get one you can drive.
The 3-2 is lifted foul again. Pitch number 11 coming up for Milbauer. Here it is. Slapped on the ground, through the hole for a base hit on the left side of the infield. Grant English pulls in at first base, in standing with a leadoff single to begin the top of the 6th. Second hit of the night for Mr. English. That'll bring up Michael Turner, the cleanup batter.
Yeah, that can be very frustrating. just the fight by English, and then he's able to get a ground ball up the middle right between Hosey and Austin. Just got to try and get another one of those ground balls. Hope it's to one of his infielders because he's gotten a few that just haven't gone his way.
First pitch to Turner. Taking for a strike on the outer corner, count 0-1. And that one a bit of an anomaly. Grounded to the left side of the infield, not the right side.
Haven't seen it too much that time.
The 0-1 as the runner goes. Popped up in the air. Playable for Hogeson out in left field. Squeezes it above his cap, retreating back to first base. Grant English now one away.
That's a big out, especially because English was off on the play, trying to execute the hit and run there. And as a lefty, he had a lot of room to the right side between Harvey and Gethings, because Gethings had to honor English, who was trying to run on the play.
So runner on first base with one away in the top of the 6th inning. 6-5 Ocean State on top of Newport. First time this season Ocean State has played a game in Newport. Third game of the series between these two teams. First pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Brian Moskey.
Aggregate, the most runs that have been scored in a game between the two clubs.
Milbauer checks the runner at first base, takes a long look in. Fires a pitch on the inside corner, much to the chagrin of Brian Moskey.
There's the wide strike zone we've seen from Bullock. He's been calling it both ways. As we get down the wire of this game, hitters have to recognize that, because I would imagine it would become a big factor and could be a huge point of contention.
Runner goes and the pitch fouled away. A 1 ball, 2 strike count to Moskey.
Another break.
Moskey singled to lead off the 5th inning, came around to score. Was 0 for 2 prior, now 1 for 3 on the night.
Milbauer had a 1.59 earned run average, 4th of regulars at TCU this past spring.
Throw back to first. Grant English not taking a big lead off the bag. Count holds at 1-2. We're positioned in the bleachers, so we could smell all the food going on around us. Fouled away as the runner goes. Count still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Something smells really, really good.
Yeah, you know they're cooking something up down the right field line there. A lot of fans still in attendance here. Almost at the 9 o'clock hour. But a Friday night, school is out. Close ball game for rival teams. Where else would you rather be in Newport?
The sky is beginning to darken. 1-2 to Brian Moskey. And another throw back to first. Milbauer paying a lot of attention to Grant English. English does have some speed, had a stolen base in this game, up to 5 on the season.
He's trying to mix up his looks. You remember the double steal that happened last inning. And they had a very good jump.
Takes off again, pitch outside, throw down to second, gets into center field, but holding at second base is Grant English. As a 2 ball, 2 strike count to Brian Moskey.
Yeah, everyone knew it was coming, and it was an excellent throw from Britton. Didn't even have to move his glove, did Gethings, but the helmet hit it out of the glove of Gethings and made it bounce into center field.
That was almost a pitch out, knowing that Grant English was taking off. A runner in scoring position for Ocean State, leading by 1, with 1 away in the top of the 6th. 2-2 the count. Milbauer checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Slapped on the ground to the third baseman Hosey, charging at it. Picks it up, fires to first in time. Now there's 2 away.
Nice play there. He was taking some weird hops. He was very patient, got one that he could glove cleanly, and did a nice job looking back English as well. It brought him to the left of the diamond, so not much room for English to move, but you also got to credit Austin there for running over to third to cover the bag.
Hosey having to move over to his left side and play it on the infield grass. Good effort there, keeping the runner at second base. Garrett Hodges, the new batter, looking for his first hit of the night. Here's the pitch. Chopped down the first base line, foul. Count 0-1.
But that stolen base coming into play because that potentially could have been a 5-4-3 double play.
Grant English on second base. 2 away in the top of the 6th inning. Garrett Hodges popped out to first in the 2nd inning, grounded out to second in the 3rd inning, and walked in the 5th. Only time he's reached base tonight. English goes again, swung on and missed. Throw down to 3rd, not in time to get Grant English. Boy, he's showing off his wheels tonight. Count 0-2 to Garrett Hodges.
I mean, there have been many, many stolen bases, over 5 in this ball game for the Waves.
And English has 3 of them. Pitch outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. English actually has 4 of them. How about that?
How often do you see that in a game?
Entered the game with 4 stolen bases on the season. Doubled that in one night. And we're only through 5 2/3. Off the plate outside, 2-2.
It has been a big part, and the Waves have been taking advantage of it for the most part. Taking advantage of some errors as well, but
Milbauer sets high. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Milbauer works out of some trouble after giving up a leadoff single to Grant English. He got all the way to 3rd base and then was left stranded. Ocean State still leads Newport 6-5 entering the home 6th inning. The Gulls have a chance to respond when we come back on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Top of the order coming up for the Newport Gulls, trailing 6-5 against the Ocean State Waves. Before we get into the action, let's send it over to Aram Layton for a look around the league. Aram?
Thank you. Vermont leads Danbury 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Sanford has taken the lead over North Adams 7-6 in the top of the 7th. Red Hot Plymouth still leads 7-2 over Upper Valley in the bottom of the 8th. That's here. New Bedford leads Mystic 13-9 in a barn burner in New Bedford in the top of the 6th. And the Valley Blue Sox lead 7-1 in the bottom of the 6th over Keene.
Thanks, Arm. Jonah Karp and Dave Peck on this Friday evening. Popped up in the air, foul territory, out of play. Count 0-1 to Tim Tawa. Thanks for spending your Friday evening with us. A new pitcher in for the Ocean State Waves, Peyton Dietz, making his 6th appearance of the season. 16 strikeouts, 8 walks. Slapped on the ground to the 3rd baseman Smith, picks it up, fires to first in time. 1 away.
Tawa just on his front foot, a little antsy there. Easy play from Smith.
Peyton Dietz, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Ocean State Waves, coming in relief of Stephen Thecke, who relieved Vito Morgesi. Morgesi went just 2 innings as the starting pitcher, gave up 3 runs without an out in the 3rd inning, then exited with an apparent injury. 1 away, nobody on. Lifted foul, out of play. Count 0-1 to Zach Britton.
Britton coming into this game with an 8-game hit streak, yet to have one so far in the contest. He did walk his last time up.
The 0-1. Lined in the air, charging at the left fielder Ryan Ward. He'll make the catch. Now there's 2 away.
Very consistent defense here from the Waves. They haven't been extraordinarily difficult plays, but they've been plays that they have, been able to make look relatively easy. And you mentioned Ward out there, and also Hodges made a nice play. Smith at 30's had a couple there that have been right at him that across the diamond aren't necessarily gimmies.
The pitch from Dietz off the plate outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, certainly the infield defense has been something to write home about tonight. Big cut and a miss, 1-1.
No errors for the Waves. 10 hits compared to Newport's 7.
Just 1 error on the night for Newport. Pretty clean ball game. 11 runs scored, 6-5. Ocean State on top. The 1-1. Hit on the ground to the shortstop. McAfee boots it. It comes up on him, takes a weird hop, and Cody Hosey makes it in safely at first base.
Yeah, it was hit very hard on the ground, and he kind of stomached it, brought him back a little bit, and then maybe had a chance to get it out on the transfer, but couldn't quite corral it as it got stuck there in his glove. Hosey doing a good job, at least hitting it hard on the ground. That's what you want to do. Make them make a play, and just as I say that they've been sharp.
I know.
That's just what happens.
Way to jinx them, Dave. Cody Hosey reaches on an error, the first error for the Ocean State Waves tonight. First error for Quincy McAfee in his brief career with the Ocean State Waves. Taking first strike on the outer half. Stevie Mangrum, the new batter, count 0-1. Mangrum 2 for 3 on the night, 2 singles and a strikeout. Peyton Dietz sets at the belt. Kicks and delivers. And the pitch taken way outside, 1-1. Dietz entering tonight, throwing just 11 innings pitched, giving up just 1 earned run, an ERA of 0.82. That's pretty good. Off speed. Mangrum chases at it, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, what he's done in this inning is just get everyone on their front foot. A couple of ground outs. One was an error, and then the fly out to left field, but just keeping him off balance.
Dietz checks the runner at first. Here it is. Upstairs, a breaking ball. 2-2. Cole Austin would be next. The always dangerous Cole Austin. That is if Stevie Mangrum can keep the inning going. Cody Hosey off of first base, 2 away. The pitch from Dietz. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Second time tonight, Stevie Mangrum has struck out. Peyton Dietz works around an error to the shortstop McAfee. No runs, no hits, 1 man left for the Newport Gulls. After 6 innings, it's the Ocean State Wave 6 and the Newport Gulls 5 on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Back here for the top of the 7th inning. Bottom third of the order coming up for the Ocean State Waves. They lead 6-5 on top of the Newport Gulls. And as tradition, we throw it over to the voice of the Newport Gulls for the last 3 innings, Dave Peck. Dave?
Thank you, Jonah. Ryan Ward, Dylan Resk, and LT Struble trying to add to this 6-5 lead in the top of the 7th. Just 8 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour, and a ball game that has been back and forth. The most runs that have been scored between the two teams through the first 3 games that they have played together. Milbauer back out on the hill. He's done a good job limiting the damage so far. Coming in for Sullivan. Lefty-lefty matchup here to start off the 7th. It's first pitch fastball tipped into the glove for strike 1.
A good resurrection day for Ryan Ward, and he was bound to break out of his slump sometime.
Singled in the 2nd, double in the 4th with an RBI. 0-1 pitch is a curveball taken for strike 2. Did fly out to Mangrum his last time up.
Just 171 over his last 10 games, all the way down to 7th in the order.
0-2 pitch, another breaking ball. This one skidding off the plate, now 1-2. Excuse me, he walked in the 5th inning, but was stranded on 3rd.
That was the inning that the Ocean State Waves had the bases loaded and nobody out. Managed 2 runs and took the lead.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball runs inside for ball 2. Just didn't have enough break on it. One, two, flare down the left field line, foul and out of play. The last time that Ocean State had their leadoff man retired was back in the 2nd inning. Here's the break-even offering. This one dribbled down the first base line, rolling foul, and it will get fouled by about 3 inches. Very close play.
That was awfully close. Harvey charging at it at first, trying to keep it fair, and got there just a hair late.
So Ward stays alive here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Milbauer with 2 complete innings under his belt. Winds and deals. Waved and missed at the curveball for strike 3. Nice pitch there from Milbauer, his 3rd strikeout of the evening. And there's 1 down in the 7th. Boy, did he need that one.
Ryan Ward just completely baffled. Milbauer pulling the string, giving him the old wrinkle, and Ryan Ward possibly looking for the fastball. Didn't see that one coming.
Just a really good pitch. Started in and ended out. To get that first out, always big. Here's Dylan Resk. Fastball taken for strike one on the inside corner. Resk singled in the second, had the RBI double in the fourth. Flew out to Mangrum. As he dribbles this one down the third base line, Hosey comes in. The throw on the run to first is in time. 2 up, 2 down here in the seventh for the Gulls. Sounded like he may have broken his bat on that one. Still, neither team with a 1-2-3 inning so far in this ball game. Milbauer getting 2 quick outs. Threatening to do it for the first time. Here's LT Struble. He struck out his first 2 times up, then reached on an error. First pitch breaking ball in there for strike one in the inside corner. It's looked good in these lefty-lefty matchups.
Something happening in each inning tonight, each half inning.
0-1 pitch. Slider misses off the plate, now 1-1.
But the last 2 innings have turned into a bit of a pitcher's duel.
Milbauer and Dietz going head-to-head, 1-run game. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a fastball taken low. 6-5. Ocean State on top. Trying to add to it, but 2 quick outs. They scored 1 in the first, then they scored 3 more in the fourth after Newport scored 3 in the bottom of the third. Added 2 more in the fifth. 2-1 pitch, foul to the netting, now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cole Austin with the 3-run home run. That was the last time that Newport scored in this ball game.
That came back in the third inning.
They had their chances in the bottom of the fifth. Couple of walks, runners on second and third with 1 out. Couldn't scrape across the run. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. Milbauer gets him down 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts in the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the seventh. Still 6-5, Ocean State on top right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we'll send it down to the field for the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball game here midway through the seventh. Always a classic here at the ballpark. Dono Hanley, the longtime voice of the Newport Gulls, taking us through. Take Me Out to the ball game here at Cardines Field. Dave Peck alongside Jonah Karp. 6-5, a tight one here in the bottom of the seventh inning. And dare I say it, but do I see fog rolling in here to Cardines Field?
Oh, no.
We should be fine. I would say we're fine.
This wasn't nearly as bad as it was at Old Mountain Field.
No, definitely not.
And that fell quickly.
Definitely not. 9:16, around 80 degrees here at the ballpark. One of the nicest days that we've had in Newport so far this season. Dietz still on the hill. He will face Austin, Hogeson, and Harvey, the 5, 6, and 7 part of the Newport lineup. Trying to get something going. First pitch fastball misses outside for ball 1. Austin had the RBI double, then the 3-run home run in the third. Walked his last time up. That one is in there for strike 1.
So the Newport Gulls get the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game in the last half inning, but Peyton Dietz looked awfully impressive.
1-1 slider stays outside, now 2 balls and 1 strike.
Probably should have had a 1-2-3 inning. An error charged to Quincy McAfee over at short.
2-1 pitch popped up left side. McAfee, the shortstop, coming over. Now it's the third baseman Smith who's able to reach up and make the play in foul territory for out number 1. Another nice first out there for Dietz. Keeping Newport hitters at bay. Zach Hogeson now up. Struck out swinging in the first, looking in the third. Walked, was stranded on second in the 5th inning. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch fastball misses low for ball 1.
You mentioned the last run of the game for the Newport Gulls was that 3-run home run off the bat of Cole Austin. That was also the last hit of the game for the Newport Gulls.
1-0 pitch, line drive right at English at first. Gloves it for out number 2. Didn't hit it quite clean enough. Sounded like it was possibly a broken bat. But that is certainly an interesting stat. They've had a couple of walks. They've reached on an error by the shortstop McAfee, but since then, it's been Ocean State pitching silencing this #1 ranked offense. Here's Logan Harvey. First pitch curveball misses low.
The Gulls getting all 7 hits of their game in the first 2 innings.
1-0 pitch, change up, catches the outside corner for strike 1. An error for each team. But those middle innings, 3 runs in the 4th, 2 runs in the 2nd for Ocean State. One, another off speed. This one just bends in and catches the outside corner for strike 2. Pete's doing a good job mixing up his looks here. Harvey steps out, adjusts his batting gloves, now digs back in. Now time is called at just adjusting his left shin guard there.
Peyton Dietz not the hardest thrower the Waves have by any stretch of the imagination.
1-2 pitch, waved and missed for strike 3, so Newport goes down in order in the 7th. Still trails 6-5 as we head to the 8th right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Six to 5, Ocean State on top as we head to the top of the 8th inning, and we have a pitching change here for the Gulls. It's Michael Kirian on the hill in place of Milbauer, and Kirian, a new addition here to the Newport lineup as he's making his first appearance, a sophomore, 6'6", 240 out of Virginia Tech this past season. 15 appearances, 1 start, did not have a win or a loss, a 12.71 earned run average and 11.1 innings pitched, gave up 12 hits, 16 earned runs, walked 14, and struck out 16. So Greg Grawl, who's making the decisions tonight in place of Mike Coombs, who was tossed from the game on Wednesday night. League rules suspended for the next contest, so Grawl making the decisions, and the Virginia Tech Hokie, one of 3 that are on the Newport team, along with Mangerman Enright. Coming in here, final stat line for Milbauer. 3 innings, just 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. His hot streak continues. He has been tough to hit in his past 4 outings as a middle inning reliever here for Newport. It'll be Smith, McAfee, and English, the top of the lineup here for the Waves. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch from Kirian is a curveball that misses low for ball 1. Kirian winds and deals. Ground ball hit towards the dugouts down the first base line. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A left-on-left matchup to start. Quincy McAfee on deck. He's a right-handed hitter. And Grant English right behind him. He's a switch hitter.
Against lefties, 233 average coming into this game. For the Waves, 1-1, nice breaking ball, catches the inside corner for strike 2. 502 at-bats against righties, only 60 before this game for the Waves against left-handed pitching. Here's the 1-2 from Kirian, fastball misses low, now 2-2. I remember we talked about it the last time these 2 teams met up. Now, Ocean State has maybe struggled against left-handed pitching, and they threw Jerry Burke, the righty. 2-2 breaking ball, waved and missed for strike 3. Smith goes down on the curveball in the dirt, and Kirian picks up his first strikeout as a Newport Gull, 1 down here in the 8th. Nice display of his off-speed stuff. Trying to get back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. Here's Quincy McAfee. From the right side, first pitch fastball just misses low. McAfee walked and scored in the first, struck out in the second. Had the RBI in the 4th, and then flew out to Tawa in the 5th. That was the last time he was up. As he hits this one on the ground weakly, And it's stopped by the shortstop, Austin, in the hole, but it bounces into left field, and that will be a hit. Would have been a very tough play, but it's a one-out single. Another one that's just kind of gotten through some of the cracks in this defensive alignment in the infield.
Couldn't have rolled that one more perfectly. And now Quincy McAfee 2 for 4 in the evening and 4 for 8 to start his career as an Ocean State Wave.
Kevin Winterroad coming out to talk things over. Hosey in as well, as is Britton. And Nate Ryder is warming up. Still a one-run game. Newport offense looking to get something going. As you mentioned, the last hit they had was in the 3rd inning. And it was the 3-run home run by Cole Austin. Since then, they've reached base on 4 walks, a fielder's choice, and an error. Meeting is over, and Kieran's already at the stretch. Britton's not even in the crouch yet. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Grant English. First pitch lifted, shallow center field, shortstop. Austin backpedaling, and he's able to make the grab for out number 2. Saw something he liked, just a little antsy, got under it. Easy out there for Austin.
The catcher.
That'll bring up Michael Turner. Had an RBI single in the first, struck out in the 3rd. Grounded out to Sullivan in that 1-3 putout, the one that was hit right back at him. Could have been a scary play, but really nice reaction from the Louisville Cardinal. That's from the left side. Runner is off. There is no throw from Britton as McAfee slides in safely. He now stands on second with 2 down.
That's kind of interesting. It was not a bad pitch to pop up and throw on, and seemed like Britton had a decent amount of time. I mean, McAfee had a great jump off of first base. Not sure he would have gotten there.
1 ball and no strikes. Kieran from the stretch, leg kick, and now he looks over. Bad McAfee at second, no throw. One-oh pitch, hit on the ground right side. First baseman Harvey gloves it, touches the bag himself to retire the side. So Kieran comes in and does a nice job, faces 4 batters, and gets out of the inning without any runs scoring. Still 6-5. Ocean State on top. We'll head to the home half of the 8th inning. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned in to Newport Gulls baseball right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 8th inning, still just a 1-run game. Ocean State hanging on to this 6-5 advantage. Just about 9:30 here on the East Coast in Newport, Rhode Island. Peyton Dietz still on the hill. He'll face Liam O'Regan, Jack Ethings, and Tim Tawa.
Leading off the 8th inning for the Newport Gulls, the designated hitter.
Newport went down 1-2-3 last inning. And it's really been the mix of off-speed, just keeping Newport guessing. The entire staff of Ocean State this evening. First pitch fastball misses low for ball 1.
Peyton Dietz has seen 7 batters, retired 6 of them. The only one who reached base was Cody Hosey, who reached on an error.
1-0 check swing. He went around, possibly caught the outside corner as well. Regardless, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. One off speed. That one stays outside. Now 2-1. O'Regan grounded out to Smith at third his last time up. Pinch hitting for Reed. 2-1. Breaking ball misses low. So it looked early on like this was going to be a game of a lot of hits, probably for both teams, but really hasn't been the case as O'Regan swings through that breaking ball to make it a full count. You know, you saw the home run from Austin. You thought, okay, maybe this is going to be that kind of game. He has a double, a 3-run home run. Since then, it's been nothing as that's fouled straight to the backstop.
Well, it was really a tale of 2 games for these teams. And actually, for the Newport Gulls, it was the first 3 innings where they started to score runs. For the Ocean State Waves, it was the middle three.
3-2 waved and missed for strike 3. One down here in the 8th. Third strikeout of the evening for Dietz.
So the first 3 innings went to Newport. The middle 3 go to Ocean State. They're on top by 1 run, and so far we haven't had a run in the bottom 3 innings.
First pitch to Gethings is a curveball that misses off the plate.
Still up in the air.
It's interesting how that works. You know, just with the way we toss and juggle the broadcast back and forth. Here's the 1-0. Hit on the ground, right side. English can't handle it as it goes all the way into right field. Gethings round first. He's headed into second, and he will be on second base, and that will go down as an error for Grant English, but a break for Newport.
And that didn't seem like awfully too tough of a play over at first base for Grant English. He just kind of booted it, and that kept rolling all the way to the corner out in right field. And credit Garrett Hodges, who's an unbelievable outfielder out in right field, hitting the cutoff man, who is Quincy McAfee at short, getting the ball to him in the air.
I'm not sure what would have been better for Gethings, had it rolled all the way into the corner where Hodges was expecting it to go, or if it just hit off the warehouse and stopped there. Potentially, English hasn't played here yet, so he doesn't necessarily know that if it gets behind him, it might not go all the way to Hodges out there and right, possibly giving Gethings a chance to score, or to reach third.
No, that's an interesting point.
Here's Tim Tawa. That's with 1 out. Gethings on second. And Dietz takes a look at the Fairfield Stag, who scampers back to the bag.
So now the only 2 base runners against Peyton Dietz have both reached on an error. Go figure.
Still up 6-5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. First pitch to Tawa is a fastball that misses high for ball 1. Tawa grounded out to Smith at third in the first inning. He had the RBI double in the second, then struck out in the 4th and grounded out the third once more. When he's been retired, just a little antsy on his front foot. That was the case the first time he played the Waves. Fastball misses high, now 2-0. That was his first time playing with the Gulls. It was at Old Mountain Field in that 8-1 loss. He had a ground out to the shortstop as well as the second baseman. Dietz comes to the set, leg kick. Here's the 2-0, waved and missed for strike 1.
One thing Dietz has struggled with, really the only thing Dietz has struggled with this season, is walking batters. Through 5 games, 8 walks, but it hasn't been a problem yet tonight.
Takes a look at Gethings, now goes to the plate, and that breaking ball misses low in the dirt, now 3-1.
In danger of being right here.
That's what happens. How many times do we have to learn up here?
First, we talk about how there's no errors for the Ocean State Waves, and they give up an error to the batter. Now a 3-1 count.
Now there's going to be a mound visit. Tawa in the last 5 games batting .313, 5 hits and 16 at-bats, 1 run, and an RBI. Came into this week, though, earlier batting .455. Not the biggest sample size because he was a latecomer, but he was all over the scorebook.
Fairly long conference on the mound. That's the assistant coach, Eric Hirschbein-Bodner.
See if there's anybody warming up in the bullpen out there and left. And there is. It's Joe Kelly. So the meeting is over. 1 on, 1 out. Gethings on second. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Tawa. Dietz trying to battle all the way back. Has not walked anybody yet. Here's the pitch. It's fouled to the backstop. Now a full count. Tawa, a 3-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Oregon for football.
Wow.
Once for baseball.
How about that?
You wonder what made up the decision, because he certainly could have played both, as that one misses low for ball 4, and Gethings heads up play, advancing all the way to third as it rolled under Turner and all the way to the backstop. Now runners on the corners, just 1 out.
5th walk of the night for Waves pitching. First time a Waves pitcher has walked a batter since the 5th inning.
And still not a hit for Newport since the 3rd. Turner coming out, taking his mask off, giving some signs with the 1st and 3rd situation. Tawa was a quarterback at Westland High School. Zach Britton digs in. Batting .386. First pitch waved and missed for strike 1. Chased down the high fastball.
Tim Tawa was a quarterback? At just 6 feet, 180 pounds? Interesting.
Hybrid, I'm sure. Athletic kid. Everything's on 3rd. Tawa on 1st. Tawa is off as that one is fouled to the backstop, so he will go back to his original station. Now no balls and 2 strikes to Britton. Britton struck out in the 1st, grounded out to Struble at 2nd base, then walked, was stranded on 3rd in the 4th, and flew out to Ward in left field his last time up. Again, with an 8-game hit streak on the line. Came into this game ranked number 2 in average in the NECBL, 1st in the Southern Division. Dietz takes a long look in, now steps off. And now Britton wants time. We've seen this the entire game, just a chess match of minds between the batter and the pitcher. Dietz now gets the sign. Tawa is off. The pitch is fouled to the backstop. We'll reset and do it again.
Well, I started to mention it the last time Dietz was on the mound. Only throws about 86 to 89 miles per hour. Not the hardest throwing pitcher the Waves have in their arsenal.
So he's got to be cheeky, is what you're saying.
That's a good word.
Yeah, you know, it's a soccer word. World Cup is happening right now. And now Dietz goes to check on Tawa. Doesn't have to go to the slide. English holding him on there at 1st. 6-5, Ocean State on top. Bottom of the 8th inning. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Zach Britton, the number 2 hitter here for the Gulls. And Tawa's off. He picks him off. And now we have a rundown between 1st and 2nd as McAfee runs him all the way back to 1st to prevent Gethings from scoring from 3rd. So a smart play there. Really no harm, no foul for either team.
Right.
Not trying to get into any sort of hijinks over there in the 1st and 3rd situation. Meanwhile, Britton still has an 0-2 count. Trying to battle his way all the way back into this one. Pitch from Dietz is a fastball that misses off the plate, now 1-2.
The only thing I'd say about that rundown, and maybe you disagree with me, but when McAfee had the ball and Tawa was about 2/3 of the way back to 1st base, why isn't he throwing back to 1st base?
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a curveball in the dirt. He went around for strike 3, so Britton goes down. 0 for 4 now on the evening, 2 down here in the 8th. And yeah, I mean, it's
because
by the time he got as close to 1st, that it wouldn't necessarily have mattered had McAfee tossed it to English and maybe had a chance. The ball's already in English's gloves, not far away, and you know they know the situation that Gethings is waiting to go there. So if it's close enough where Tawa's not turning around again and he's already into his slide, then yes, you could throw it. I think they were just playing it conservative, and you know, you get the strikeout from Britton. Now there are 2 outs, and you know, it's just one of those things, a decision that made me, it was the safer decision, I would say.
I'm actually surprised how aggressive the Newport Gulls have been on the base paths this late in the ball game. Usually it's a cardinal sin when you steal bases and you're losing in late innings.
They're just trying to make something happen because they haven't had a hit since the 3rd inning, and now there's going to be a pitching change here for Ocean State. It'll be Joe Kelly. We'll get you stats and more when we come back right here on the NECBL Network. Pitching change here for the Waves. It is Joe Kelly on the mound to try and get out of this 1st and 3rd jam. 2 outs in the inning. Ocean State holding on to this 6-5 lead. In the bottom of the 8th, here's Cody Hosey trying to make something happen, possibly tie up the game. He has a single. He's also scored twice. Kelly from the stretch. First pitch, fastball, just misses outside for ball 1. Kelly 1-0 record, 2.16 ERA in 6 games. 10 hits and 8.1 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts and 5 walks. 1-0, fastball taken down the middle for strike 1. 6'3", 190 out of St. John's University, rising senior. Not a full submarine pitcher, but certainly drops down his slot. 1-1. Broken back ground ball left side. Smith, the third baseman, gloves it, throws it across the diamond to retire the side. So Newport leaves runners on first and third. They can't get a run across. They still trail 6-5 as we head to the final frame, 9th inning here at Cardines Field, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
All right, folks, it's time for the last contest tonight.
Listen up, fans.
Getting right down to it here in Newport, Rhode Island. 6-5, Ocean State still on top. The score has not changed since the top of the 5th inning. And Newport has not scored since the bottom of the 3rd. As Mike Kirian is back out on the hill, he will face Mosky, Hodges, and Ward. 5, 6, and 7, part of this Waves lineup. First pitch, fastball, fouled to the backstop, 0-1. Mosky grounded out to second, struck out. Also singled and scored in the 5th and grounded out to Hosey at third. Oh, 1 pitch, off speed, misses high. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Goes to Quinnipiac, a rising senior from Haddam Killingworth High School. Actually the same high school as Matt Finlayson, front office of the Ocean State Waves. 1-1, foul to the backstop again. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The president and general manager.
The big guy. Upstairs.
Finney, as he's affectionately called.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, misses wide. Now 2-2. Kirian had a nice inning in the 8th. Gave up 1 single, but was able to work past it as Mosky fouls that one again to the backstop. So he's just a little bit late on it, but fouling a lot directly back right in front of us. Kirian working from the windup. Here's the 2-2, right to the backstop once more.
Again late on it. But Brian Mosky's been better on getting on top of pitches. Certainly a lot better than how he started off the season in his first 20 at-bats. Really settled into the batter's box, stopped moving his feet a lot.
Here's the break-even offering. That one misses low for ball 3. Looked like a slider. So another full count here to Mosky. Last thing you want if you're Kirian is a leadoff walk. Try and get your offense in and give them a decent chance with just a 1-run deficit. Already 1 walk-off win for the Gulls so far this season, and Mosky calls time. The 2 pitch, hit on the ground, left side, fair ball. Third baseman Hosey gloves it, throws it to first, but that one is not on target as it pulled Harvey off the bag down the first baseline. Mosky was hustling down the baseline, and that will be ruled an error.
Well, tough play for Hosey over at third base. Hard hit ball down the line, had to backhanded, and then tough throw to the first baseman, but I mean, a better throw obviously would have gotten Brian Mosky. I don't think you can argue much. That's an error.
It was hit decently hard. Just kind of backed him up a little bit. The hop kind of attacked him, and we're going to have a pitching change once more. And it's going to be the late inning guy here for the Gulls. Nate Ryder coming in, trying to keep this one close. We'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Pitching change here for the Gulls. They'll go to to their late inning man, Nate Ryder. 5 save already on the season. That is first in the NECBL. He had 8 this past season at Bryant. That led the Northeast Conference. He's been in this situation before. Last time it was a 6-5 walk-off win against Danbury. But he did come in that Valley game as well. On the year, 1-0. Has not given up a run in 11 innings. Struck out 15, walked 4, and given up just 4 hits. As he faces off against Garrett Hodges here with nobody out and Mosky on first in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch from Ryder. Hodges shows bunt, pulls back as the ball misses low and inside.
And Hosey was playing back at the third base position. Now he's going to play in on the infield grass.
Harvey having to hold on Mosky at first. Ryder coming to the set. Long pause. Hodges shows bunt, and he offers but can't get it down. 1-1.
If Hosey's going to charge at it, now he's playing even closer. I'd take the bunt sign off. Let Hodges swing.
Ryder gets the sign. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Hodges does square again. This time he gets it down. And Hosey, showing some patience, lets it roll foul. Nice heads-up play there by third baseman out of Tulane, now 1-2.
Well, now the bunt sign has to be off. A 2-strike count. I guess it doesn't have to be, but a good hitter like Garrett Hodges, still itching for his first hit of the night.
He walked and scored in the 5th. Only time he's been on base. Couldn't do a job. Now trying to swing away here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll see if he squares around. He does not. Here's the pitch. Line drive deep to right center field. Mangrum going back as is Tawa, and that one is gone. A 2-run shot. The first time Nate Ryder has given up a run in this season. And a timely hit there. Hodges makes it an 8-5 lead for Ocean State. So that just takes the sails out of the Gulls, but he can't do the small ball, and he pulls it back. He says, well, let me swing away here, and he puts it right over that Island Tax Association sign out there in the triangle of right center.
Well, when you're itching for your first hit and when you come into the game as hot as Garrett Hodges came in, boy, oh boy, did he strike big.
Here's Ryan Word, first pitch curveball. In there for strike 1.
Hodges now has 3 homers on the season, tied with Casey Dana for the team lead. Dana not playing tonight.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball gets him to foul it to the backstop. Ahead 0-2 now. Really a shocked feeling here in the ballpark. Ryder has been so good. Had yet to give up a run so far this season. Newport down 3 now. Nobody on, still nobody out. As the 0-2 is fouled into the netting behind home plate. Ward singled in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 4th, walked, was stranded on 3rd in the 5th, and struck out, swinging his last time up. Oh-2 delivery, fastball inside, brushes him off. Newport 10-7, second in the Southern Division standings coming into this game. Ocean State 9-7, just a half game back of the Gulls. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, ground ball down the first baseline. That is fair as it gets under the glove of a diving Harvey. Ward being sent around first. He will be up with a stand-up double. Still nobody out in the inning.
The 3rd hit of the night for Ryan Ward. 4th time he's reached base.
First time that Ryder has run into some trouble. Final stat line for Kirian: 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run. It was not earned. No walks and 1 strikeout. You look back to that throwing error from Hosey.
The DH, Dylan Resk.
A lot of errors for Newport in the past couple of games. Here's Dylan Resk. First pitch, swung on and missed for strike one. Resk 2 for 4, a single and an RBI double. He's also scored a run. Flied out and grounded out. On 1 pitch, fastball low and outside. Ryder gets the sign, now comes to the set. Ward with the leadoff second. Here's the 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, hammered foul down the left field line. He was way out in front of that one.
Saw one over the plate and got a little bit too antsy. Resk has 2 home runs.
That one was near the bus station down on America's Cup Avenue. But if Ocean State is able to hold on to this one, it will be 10-7. Newport will be 10-8, and they'll have a half-game lead. 1-2 pitch, chopper towards the third baseman Hosey, gloves it, throws it on the run. It's high, but Harvey is able to keep his foot down for out number 1. It's just a 3-run deficit, 8-5. The way Newport's been swinging the bat, not necessarily this game. As we highlight once again, they haven't had a hit since the 3rd inning, but still the number 1 ranked offense, still confidence in their lineup. Anything can happen. Here's LT Struble. First pitch, grounder off the glove of Ryder, deflects to Gethings. The throw to first is not going to be in time. Struble, always a threat on the base paths, and he's able to beat out that one. Now runners on the corners with 1 out.
Now every Ocean State Wave has tallied a hit in the ballgame.
13 hits total. Newport with 7.
The third baseman, number 4, Cullen
Strubles will make it 14 for the team. That'll flip the lineup as well. Here's Cullen Smith. Struble is off. The throw is not going to even be attempted by Britton. So now runners on second and third with 1 out.
Approaching the 10 o'clock hour. Is this the longest game the Gulls have played this season?
I would say so. I would say this is the longest. Infield is in. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Popped up in the infield. Britton can't find it. Hosey coming all the way in. Now Britton does find it, and he can't make a play as it bounces right behind home plate. Lost it right off the bat. And that's a break there for Ocean State. Just strike 1.
The Waves had a game in Danbury that I think went 4 hours and 10 minutes, something like that.
That is a marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Was it extra innings?
Yes. It went to 10 innings.
1 ball and 1 strike here to Smith. Infield still in on the edge of the grass. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, line down the third baseline, foul. Newport will have a game at Mystic tomorrow, Sunday off, and then have a doubleheader against the Upper Valley Nighthawks on Monday. That will be the 6:35 game, too, will be Christmas in July. Nice promotional event run by the Newport Gulls. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses low. Ryder taking his time here. Just trying to grind it out. Exactly on the 10 o'clock hour. It'll be Mangrum, Austin, and Hogeson due up in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2-2 pitch. Fouled into the Newport dugout.
still just 1 away in the top of the 9th inning.
Inning started with the error from Hosey. And Garrett Hodges failed to get the bunt down twice, but on a 1-2 pitch, he took Nate Ryder deep for a 2-run shot. And Ryan Ward doubled down the right field line. Resk grounded out to Hosey, and Struble singled. He stole second. He now stands on second. And time is called. Two balls and 2 strikes. Here's the break-even offering. Breaking ball hit on the ground and past Gethings. It rolls into right field. Scoring from third is Ward. Being waved around third is Struble. He scores as well. It's a 2 RBI single, and it is now 10-5 Ocean State.
4th hit of the inning for the Ocean State Waves. Still just 1 away in the top of the 9th inning. And Kirian, who looked very, very good in the 8th inning, not fooling anybody in the Waves batting order.
And now Grawl is coming out to talk things over with Ryder. Our entire infield were coming in. And if the infield wasn't playing in, it would have been a routine ground ball to Gethings. But again, that's the risk you take. And once again, it was a ground ball that was placed just to the left of Gethings. So Ryder is out. We'll have the new pitcher and more. And we come back 10-5 Ocean State, getting some insurance here in the top of the 9th inning. Right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Mike McCaffrey into the ball game here as Quincy McAfee digs into the right-handed batter's box. First pitch from McCaffrey is a fastball that misses high for ball 1. 4 runs already across in this inning for Ocean State. They have jumped out to a 10-5 lead here in the 9th inning, making it very difficult. And final stat line not quite closed on Ryder. The 1-0 is lifted foul down the left field line for strike 1. But as it stands now, Ryder, just a third of an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs, all of which were earned, no walks and no strikeouts. Smith is his responsibility on first base right now. Just 1 out in the inning. 1-1 pitch, nice breaking ball, waved and missed for strike 2.
Yeah, that was a good hook.
McCaffrey, 9.00 earned run average in 4 games. He struck out 4, given up 8 hits and walked 6 in 8 innings of work. 1-2, Smith is off. No throw from Britton as it comes in and out of his hands. And now Smith is trying to make it all the way to third. The throw from Britton down is in time. So aggressive base running from Cullen Smith. And Britton is able to gun him down at third. He was trying to pick up 2 bags on the play. And there are now 2 down in the inning.
That was a good try. I mean, it was pretty close at third base, but I mean, you're already up by 5 runs.
That's the thing, up 5. Do you necessarily want to give away out number 2 at third base? Final attendance here from Cardians Field on Savings Institute Bank and Trust Night. 1,020 fans in attendance. Now it seems like they're trying to discuss something a little bit. Not really sure what there is to discuss. Brief meeting.
I don't know if they're still arguing that play over at third base.
The pitch was low, so 2 balls and 2 strikes here to McAfee. Reached base 3 times, RBI, and does have a run. Now 2 outs, nobody on. McCaffrey trying to end this inning. 2-2 pitch, fastball, misses high.
It's a battle between McAfee and McCaffrey.
A lot of Irish. A lot of Irish battling it out right here. 10:06 Eastern time. Here's the 3-2 high curveball. Easy take for ball 4. And he just lost it. Never came down. So a 2-out walk extends this inning. That'll bring up Grant English.
First walk since the 5th inning issued to the Ocean State Waves. And that was the last time the Waves scored prior to the 9th inning.
Number 16, Grant English.
Newport once again hasn't scored since the bottom of the 3rd on the 3-run shot from Cole Austin. First pitch to English. Line drive hammered down the left field line. That'll land in fair territory. Hogeson giving chase. It'll bring him all the way to the wall. As McAfee is being waved around third, he will score. Throw is cut off. 11-5 Ocean State. An RBI double with 2 outs, just putting the nail in the coffin here at Cardines Field.
The catcher, number 15, Michael Turner.
So here comes Michael Turner, 9th man to bat in the inning. First pitch from McCaffrey is a fastball taken for strike 1. Turner 1 for 5, had an RBI single in the first. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball misses low. Lefty-lefty matchup. Sign of a good team, though, putting the stamp on this game. They came into it with just a 1-run lead. Breaking ball misses well high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Inning was led off on the error from Hosey. 2-run shot by Hodges, double by Ward. Resk grounded out, then Struble singled, Smith singled. McAfee walked, and English doubled, as that one is taken for ball 3.
Yeah, there are 2 stories in this game for the Ocean State Waves. Certainly the late runs, scoring with runners on base, and the bullpen.
3-1 pitch inside, chopped foul down the first baseline.
Of course, the game's not over and anything can happen. But the bullpen, after Vito Morgesi went just 2 innings, gave up 5 runs, has been phenomenal.
6 Newport pitchers taking the hill in this ball game. Here's the 3-2, hit on the ground over the glove of McCaffrey. Austin going to his left, dives and can't get up and make the play. And now English is trying to go all the way home. He is not going to be safe as the throw from Austin is in time. So they were trying to put 1 more on. They can't do it. Nice throw in from Austin to retire the side. But Ocean State puts up 5 runs in the inning, and they now lead it 11-5. See what Newport has in them in the bottom of the 9th inning right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 11-5. Ocean State coming out swinging in the top of the 9th inning. They put up 5 runs, thanks in large part due to the 2-run shot by Garrett Hodges. Joe Kelly will be on the hill to try and shut the door on Newport. He will face Stevie Mangrum, Cole Austin, and Zach Hogeson. 3 goals that certainly have the potential to put a big swing on the bat, but after that 9th inning, it's going to take a lot more than just 3 guys to complete this comeback, or even start the comeback, I should say. 6-5 going into the 9th, and you figured that maybe they would have an opportunity for some late inning heroics, and yes, they still might, but a lot of credit to Ocean State here, not keeping it close and really putting a nail in this baseball game.
And to think that inning started off with an error, probably could have been an out. Who knows how that would have changed the inning.
Kelly working from the stretch. First pitch to Mangrum is a fastball that catches the outside corner for strike 1. Newport could not get a run across. They left 2 runners on last inning, as the 0-1 fastball is taken on the inside corner this time for strike 2. Mangrum struck out twice today. He does have a single and scored. He also singled in the first. Here's the 0-2 fastball, just missing off the plate. Similar spot to the first pitch. Kelly came in to get the final out last inning, able to get Hosey to ground out to his counterbart, as Mangrum swings and misses on that fastball for strike 3.
3rd consecutive time Mangrum has struck out after starting the day 2 for 2.
That's kind of the story.
Yeah.
You know, the heart of this lineup, Cole Austin, Cody Hosey, reached base their first 2 times. Hosey scored twice, Mangrum scored once, Austin with the 3-run shot, and since then, been silent. First pitch fastball taken for strike 1 to Cole Austin. Austin did walk in the 5th. Popped up in foul territory to Cullen Smith in the 7th. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Line shot down the right field line, foul right off the house there and onto the rooftop deck.
Is that an actual house where people live?
Oh, yeah. And from time to time, you'll see fans that just sit up here. You'll see fans that sit on top of the warehouse. They'll bring a lawn chair out there. 0-2 pitch. Fouled similar spot into West Marlboro Street. We'll reset and do it again.
It's like buying a house on a golf course.
Thetke, Dietz, and Kelly all have not given up a hit to the Gulls as that one is chopped off of home plate and dribbles down the first baseline. All 7 of Newport's hits were from Morgessi. He went 2 innings, gave up 5 runs, walked no one, and struck out 2, but this bullpen lights out for the Waves. Oh-2 pitch, line drive into right center field. Moskey's able to cut it off and keep it to a single. Austin is on for the 4th time today, his 3rd hit of the ball game. Trying to get some sort of rally going.
Well, we talked a lot about how good both offenses have been all season long, especially Newport's. Batting .313 as a unit, which is first in the NECBL. .340 at home coming into this ball game. We haven't spoken much about the ERA.
First pitch fastball misses inside for ball 1, and 5.17 ERA, 10th in the NECBL coming into this game.
And last in the Southern Division.
Certainly been their Achilles heel. 1-0 pitch, just a little low. Now 2 balls and no strikes here to Hogeson. Struck out a couple of times, walked in the 5th, and lined out to English at first. With a first-ranked offense and a 10-7 record, there has to be something that's not going their way, as that one misses inside, now 3-0. And you're right, it's been the pitching staff, not necessarily the bullpen. Enright has been solid, Reiter has been solid, Milbauer has been solid, but getting a productive 4 to 6 innings out of the starters has been something that Newport has had to deal with. Hogeson looks at ball 4 now. So runners on first and second with 1 out. First walk of the evening for Kelly.
5.17 as a team overall, .440 at home this year. And you know, it's hard to win ball games like that. Your offense really has to produce as much as it has, and it has all season long. But games like this, that kind of ERA comes back to bite you when you face a great hitting team in the Ocean State Waves.
And this one was kind of different than most, as the first pitch to Harvey misses off the plate for ball 1. Not in the amount of runs necessarily or the pitching staff as a whole, but a lot of these runs coming late in the game. You put up 5 in the 9th inning, and it certainly skews the stats a little bit, but they still count. 1-0 catches the inside corner for strike 1. They came off Enright. Enright's a guy who didn't give up a run coming into this ball game, and in this one he gives up 3. One waved and missed for strike 2. That'd be Reiter, rather.
And for Ocean State, back in the 3rd inning, before there was even an out recorded in the 3rd inning, they were trailing 5-1. And it was Stephen Thetke, making just his 2nd appearance for the Waves, asked to do a lot.
1-2, shallow fly ball center field. Moskey coming in on it, settles under it, and makes the catch. 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th.
Thetke had only given up a single earned run through 3 innings pitched, and he was exceptional. And then Ocean State using their big guns, Peyton Dietz, all reliable.
Well, the pinch hitter here, it'll be Dylan Plew batting for Liam O'Regan. Trying to keep things going, and Plew, 271 hitter, 16 hits, 6 doubles.
It's the 3rd different batter Newport has used in the 8-hole tonight.
Started with Reed. O'Regan came in the 5th. He was 0 for 2. Now Plew, a guy who 6 doubles, that is top 3 in the NECBL in that category. trying to extend this ball game. First pitch fastball from Kelly is in there for strike one on the inside third. Oh, 1 pitch, changeup misses low. Blue in his last 5 games, batting .214, just 3 hits in 14 at-bats, a couple runs scored, and an RBI. Guy who's played first, second, short, third, left, and center field. 1-1, fastball just misses low. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. Newport down to their final out. 11-5, Ocean State on top, bottom of the 9th inning, 2 on, 2 out. 2-1 pitch, fastball misses inside, now 3-1. Crowd gone quiet here at Cardines Field. Kelly comes to the set, leg kick, here's the 3-1. It's fouled into the netting down the third baseline, and it's a full count here to Dylan Plew. Ocean State trying to win game number 3 of the Pell Bridge Series, just 1 strike away. Here's the 3-2 pitch, runners go, and it's fouled down the third baseline again. Game 1 was in favor of Newport, 5-1 at Old Mountain Field. Game 2, Ocean State stormed back with an 8-1 victory for themselves. This is the first time that they've played at Cardines Field, and they're trying to come in here and steal one. Newport 7-3 at home this year. Here's the 3-2 pitch, waved and missed for strike 3, and that will do it. Ocean State takes this one. Final score 11-5. Newport falls to 10-8 on the season. Ocean State improves to 10-7, and they'll flip-flop in the Southern Division standings. We'll take a quick break and come back with the final recap and the Newport Gulls post-game show right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So Newport falls in this one 11-5. The Ocean State Waves improve to 10-7 on the season. And we talked about it the whole time, Jonah. It was a game that was split in half, or in thirds, you could say, because, boy, those middle innings for Ocean State, responding after Cole Austin hit that 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. They did not get another hit until the 9th, and it was Cole Austin with the single trying to extend the ball game. 17 hits for the Waves, 8 for Newport, 2 errors apiece. The Ocean State scored 3 runs in the 4th inning, 2 runs in the 5th. 6-5 ball game. You go into the top of the 9th inning. You have your man in Nate Ryder coming in, trying to shut the door. Leads the league in saves. Hasn't allowed a run the entire season. And the home run from Garrett Hodges after he fails to get down the bunt. And after that, it just kind of spiraled out of control.
Well, overall, one of the best offensive performances for the Waves as a team this season. And it didn't seem like that through the first 3 innings, trailing 5-1. And their starting pitcher, Vito Morgessi, just did not have the right stuff tonight. Exited after 2 innings pitched with an apparent injury. Of course, we hope everything's okay. But without an out recorded in the 3rd inning, the Waves were already down 4. And they got a couple back in the 4th inning. Then we're trailing by 1. Took the lead in the 5th inning and really didn't look back. And then it was a big 9th inning that put the nail in the coffin. Losing pitcher will be Gavin Sullivan. Just 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, one of which was earned 2 walks and no strikeouts. Holden Powell with 3 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. But he was on the mound when Newport's offense was clicking, and that just didn't continue as they were ousted. Final score 11-5. Jonah, always fun working with you. I hope you enjoyed your first time in Newport. Look forward to seeing you soon, and it's always interesting between these 2 teams. Oh, it's always – well, I hope to be back here soon. I don't know. When's the next time we play each other here?
I'm not exactly sure. I haven't looked that far ahead. But it can't be too far away. We've only got 3 more.
That's right. Let's see. Okay, July 9th is the next time we're back here.
All right, July 9th. Let's do it. For the rest of the post-game report, we'll send it over to Newport Gulls field reporter Aram Layton. Aram, how's it going?
Well, it's a tough one for the Gulls. At one point, they led 5-1. To give up 10 unanswered runs is definitely a difficult pill to swallow if you're Coach Grawl and the Newport Gulls. Strikeouts continue to be an issue for this team. Double-digit strikeouts again for the Gulls offense. 10 strikeouts as a team. We see this happen when the offense gets stagnant. It's typically as a result of struggling to put the ball in play. As Dave touched on earlier, the Gulls went through 4 to 5 straight innings without picking up a hit until the 9th inning, and that's something you can't do. As for Holden Powell, he looked like he just struggled to have his command early, was able to recapture it a little bit, but didn't really have his best stuff tonight, going 3 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned, walking 2 and striking out 5. Gavin Sullivan also struggled, could not finish his inning, only going 2/3 and surrendering 2 runs, one of them earned. Cole Austin was one of the lone bright spots for the Gulls offense, going 3 for 4 and hitting his NECBL leading 6th home run of the season and driving in 4 runs. Other than that, the Gulls offense struggled a little bit. Stevie Mangrum did add 2 hits, but also did punch out 3 times. The big story with the Gulls is the inconsistency with their offense and whether they can continue to put up runs like we know they can and like we've seen them do in the past. Dan Byford joins me in the booth. Dan, what did you see from the Gulls? And it was almost like a tale of 2 stories here where you had the Gulls that led 5-1 at one point and end up losing 11-5. What did you see from this team today?
Yeah, I just think it was an ugly game, honestly. I think games like tonight are why you need to start figuring out your bullpen, honestly, because you can't just rely on one guy. I can't say that Ryder's performance today was because he's fatigued or anything, but it certainly can't help when he's one of the team leaders in innings pitched, and he's supposed to be your door shutter in the back end of the pen.
Well, the thing is, too, is Ryder's been lights out all season long, and he's been shouldering that load. Someone else needs to step up in that bullpen and take the pressure off of Ryder. This is the first time we've seen him be a human so far this year. I mean, you can't have your stuff every night, but at the end of the day, you need other relievers that can help at the back and at the end of this game and keep the game within reach. And that's the problem, is they weren't able to keep the game within reach, and by the time they got their last at-bat in the 9th, they were down 6 runs, and that's pretty unattainable when it comes to a comeback. But there's some other arms in the pen that have been here and there. Augie Milbauer looked really good today, 3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts. What did you see from Augie?
I think, he was just doing a really good job setting batters up, and then he'd knock them down with something off speed, make them have to swing at something they didn't want to go after. But he's capable of throwing that off-speed stuff for a strike, so you got to have to go after it, protect the plate.
Well, I got a chance to talk to Coach Coombs, and he kind of shared the same sentiment that pitchers in this league, if they can locate 3 pitches for a strike, they're going to go a long way into games, and they're going to have a lot of success. And that's the thing that we see. Holden Powell was the starter, couldn't really get any of the secondary pitches going, and that's when he struggled. But the other relievers really were able, specifically like Augie, could locate 3 pitches. Now we're going to send it down to Dave Peck to conclude things on the field.
Thanks, guys. Newport drops Game 3 of the Pellbridge Series. Final score, 11-5 in favor of Ocean State. The Gulls drop to 10-8 on the season, their 2nd consecutive loss. They'll be back in action tomorrow when they head to Fitch High School in Groton, Connecticut to take on the Mystic Schooners. First pitch of that one, 6:05. They'll be back at Cardines Field on Monday for a doubleheader against the Upper Valley Nighthawks. Both will be 7-inning games. First pitch of Game 1 set for 4 o'clock. Then after the first game is over, it'll be Christmas in July here at Cardines Field, where families that bring in a new toy donation will receive free admission on United Healthcare Christmas and July night. Once again, your final score, Ocean State 11, Newport 5 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. For everybody who's helping out with the broadcast here this evening, our executive producer, Tom Lima, our producer, Shannon Carlson, our on-site engineer, Nick Bello, Tess Rote, our production assistant, camera operators, Jamie Miles and Madison Gilman, our social media coordinator, Dan Byford, Andre Olivier, our statistician, our field reporter, Arm Layton, and the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp. I'm Dave Peck saying so long from the city by the sea.